Welcome back everyone to VCT Game Changers APAC Open 3, and we are only heading to our second series because that was a banger of a first series. We went all the way to game 3, we had quad overtime, and game number 2 it was 11-13 on game number 3, and Orangutan, such a great showing from them. But right now we're gonna go to the other side of the bracket, the upper bracket finals. I'm Key, and with me is Ham Quack. We are your casters for today, and of course we are a bit gassed from that series because it was an amazing series full of plays. But right now let's take the attention to Bren Esports Victress versus X10Crit female. Two teams that have always been perennial second and third place. Bren, Victress first, Kendrell.
This team coming in from the capital Arise, now Bren Victress. We saw how strong they were in the previous Open. They actually faced against Alter Ego Celeste and lived to tell the tale. 3-1 is not such a bad score, but they're going up against a team that took Alter Ego Celeste 3-2, or well, 2-3.
Yeah. So last Open, Bren Victress were the ones in second place. The first Open, it was X10Crit female that were in second place. So right now it seems like they're going to secure yet another second place spot. One of these two teams for sure. Whoever wins this secures second place at least. And X10Crit female, you can see this team: Alyssa, Baby Teasy, Ginny, Muffin, Polly, same team as last year that formed towards the end of the year. They've been second so near Alter Ego Celeste for so long, but they finally slayed their demons and took them down to the lower bracket.
Yeah, those demons are still alive despite being in the lower bracket. That previous game, I'm still recovering from it, just quite frankly, so bear with me everyone. But this current game now, upper bracket finals, that's one that we get to see because this is something that influences whoever gets into the top 2 or possibly top 3, right? And I honestly don't think they've actually ever... Have they faced each other before, these two teams?
I feel like they've all...
Maybe once or twice, yeah.
No, in Open 2, it was Bren Victress that took X10Crit down the lower bracket and eliminated them as well. So this is actually interesting because what happened there was they had the first round matchup and Bren Victress won. And then on the upper bracket, it was Team SMG and Alter Ego Celeste winning. Alter Ego Celeste took Bren down, so they had to face X10Crit female again in the lower bracket. Now this is my memory serving me right. I'm saying I'm 95% confident that is exactly what happened. It was Bren Victress that won twice against X10, but that was a different X10Crit. They seem to have struggled in Open 2, and they have retooled. This is a different patch as well, so things have changed a little bit. And now we're going to take a look at the map picks. Ascent first, Breeze second, Haven third. So it is really interesting because Bren Victress, they're great on Ascent, but they're not getting their split because X10F have banned it. The Molly comp, we're definitely going to see that yet again on Ascent, but the last two maps, I'm not too sure about Bren Victress in those.
I have to agree. I'm trying to think about it. Haven, we just saw it. It's one of those high-octane, high-speed matches. It's a playing ground for teams that get to be hyper-aggressive, but I don't know if Bren is such a team. And Breeze, on the other hand, I can still kind of see it, just because it's fairly open, fairly big, and Bren is that team that loves to play really slow, really tactically, working together as a team, especially when they get to maneuver around the middle. They might be able to pull off such things, but the sites are a little bit different, right? Just because Breeze, Ascent B site, Breeze B site, you've got the pillar, you've got the boathouse, completely different things, and I'm not quite sure if Bren is prepared for that. X10, on the other hand, possibly a little bit more so.
My memory is already bringing something back. Twirly on Breeze, when they were still TC Rise and Open 1, she slayed on Breeze. She played Reyna, in fact, so that's something different. It was a different patch. It was quite a few months ago. I would say 3 months ago at this point, but I do remember when they were still TC Rise, before they got picked up, before they played under the Bren banner. Twirly, who is now in the main starting 5, by the way, goes on a tear. Sometimes she plays duelist, sometimes she plays controller. She's kind of a bit of a flex for the team. So it's Alexi is also a flex as well. Sometimes the initiator. We see her a lot on the KO and the breach, but also on
Reyna.
the Jet.
Jet, yep.
and Reina, everything. Really. Alexi's probably one of the best players that's recently joined the ranks of, your Kohaib, your Inari, the duelist that just really runs in and slays everyone, potentially an ace every single round. It's just crazy how Alexi plays. Ali is the one that was moved to the 6th person on the roster. She's been subbed in at times as well. So between Ali and Twirly, sometimes they swap things around. The new addition to the team is Mikasi. So she's the one that's been tearing it up for her team, especially on raids. So she plays at raids a lot, quite a bit, especially on Ascent. And it's gonna be really exciting to watch them because their comp on Ascent is actually something to behold. I don't think other teams have run similar comps.
Not yet.
Or maybe slightly similar, but not the same at all because Bren Neon?
Well, wait. Well,
no, it's gonna be the Rays, right? It has to be.
There we go. It has to be. That's what they did the previous Open. That's the aggressive utility. What was
the Molly comp?
The Molly comp. Okay, let's just call it the Molly comp. That's what they did.
I call it the Molly comp.
The previous Open. Yeah, Molly comp's a lot easier to remember. It's something that they did so well because they get the plants, they clear out corners and everything with all of these pieces of utility such as Molly's, which is where the name comes from. On the other hand, X10, Ascent is a team that, Ascent is a map that a lot of Thai teams love and are incredibly strong on because they play this very fluid style. How does that fare against a team that plays incredibly slow, methodical, and tactical? Any thoughts to that, Marquis?
I'm not too sure what feel really. Like their comp is a little bit similar to what Alter Ego Celeste run, but with a chamber instead of a Killjoy. Now, whether they can hold against Bren Victress's Molly assault is something that remains to be seen. The thing is, when we first saw it, it was a bit novel. Teams might not have been prepared for it, but they better be prepared for it now because we already know that this is what Bren is going to run. It's either going to be an Ascent or Split, but they're going to run this type of composition every single time.
And it's something that's worked out for them, so why not do it again, right? But
yeah, exactly.
X10...
And yeah, we'll have to see because X10, they were the ones who took down Alter Ego Celeste. So composition wise, it's good not to dwell too much into that. It's because it really depends on how they execute, right? Like it doesn't matter what your comp is if you know how to execute it. Neon was something novel in Masters, but Optic made it work. They made it all the way to the grand finals with a Neon comp, and at that point, not many people were actually running Neon, but because of that, we actually started to see Neon pop up in various leagues, various players picking it up, Inari picking it up. We are starting exactly, and it just really depends on how the teams play.
Sway picking
whether
it up.
Bren, Sway as well, and it really just depends here whether they can execute with this comp that others have been using, but Bren have been so strong on Ascent. So let's see if they can get away with this composition.
Yeah, I'm just taking a look at the stats from before now, and the last time they played together, you were right. It was in Open 2. It was in the lower bracket, and Bren were the ones that knocked X10 out. So this is one heck of a rematch, but at the same time, they also played on Ascent on one of those maps, and X10 actually won that one in overtime. It was 14-12 in favor of X10, so it's a bit of a toss-up for me. In all this time, both teams, like you mentioned, can retool. So it comes down to how X10 really kind of adapts to this. Because Bren, I have a feeling they're just playing the exact same comp, the exact same strategy. Not even four. Actually, every single one of those agents in their lineup has some kind of a Molly/grenade type utility.
Yeah, it's all of damaging utilities. This goes against the philosophy of Project A. But we take what we can, and for
guns,
Bren,
sure, but we also have grenades and other tactical shooters. All right.
Yes, fair enough. But the thing about Bren's comp is that they really know how to use these utilities to clear a site. That's the biggest difference here in terms of the way they play this comp. It requires a little bit more coordination because you want to flush out all the corners all at once while rushing into the site. So that's the biggest difference. That's the game plan here. That's why they're starting on attack typically. They would really prefer to start on attack because the way they play this, is also good for retakes as well. So they don't have a preferred side, I'd say. They just can make this comp work. But right now, it looks like it's going to be towards B. So let's see if X10F have the strats, have the preparation to stop this Bren push.
All right, and there we go, back into it. This is upper bracket finals, X10 versus Bren. And Bren starting out on the attack, already headed towards the B sites through B main, which is being held all the way from market. I believe they hear the utility, but they're not actually going into contest for it. So is this setting up for a retake already?
Yeah, it looks like it's gonna be a 5v5 retake. That's gonna be a free site. No damage done on both sides. Some utilities expended, but Curly might be able to find his flank. The right click on the classic. And that was a flick of the wrist if I've ever seen one. She's still holding this right click again. Get some damage done, but Alyssa and Baby PZ are gonna get a kill a piece, but Shiraj is gonna be there for the kill. Polly gets one kill as well, and they're gonna clean up shop, but Alexi is gonna be there. The right click, yet another classic. She's far away from the spike though. I'm not sure what Alexi can do at this point in time because she's so far away that it's just gonna go. They're gonna stick it. That's gonna be the round win for X10F. Alexi was just a bit too far forward.
Oh my god, I never expected that to happen. The push coming in through B main, but it was so successful that X10 managed to basically separate Alexi from her pack. And when something like that happens, they get to stick that defuse. They get to win this round. And along with that is a huge boon because now Spectres come in.
It's gonna be the Spectres. Bren, I think they didn't take care of the spike so well. X10F, they knew what they were doing when they let them into that B site. They knew they had a plan for that. And Shirazi is gonna be able to push up short. Wanted to push, thinking about pushing through her smoke. Mikasi is gonna be here as well. That's gonna be a Spectre in their face, but a classic right click. Too much for them to handle. Exactly just that. Double headshot. It's gonna be Trace. It's gonna be a 2-for-2. But Jenny is gonna be there. Shirazi though, with the running spray through that corner, is gonna be 2 members of X10F on that mid spot. It's gonna be a 2v2. The spike is down, so they're gonna have to fight.
Last enemy remaining.
Oh no.
Alyssa getting that kill and make it a win for X10F. They made it expensive though for Bren. I think they probably wanted to get that spike down, but unfortunately they lost it at mid, diminishing the chances of that spike going down for that 300 extra creds, which would have been great.
Of course, I mean, ideally you want that spike down. Ideally, you would even want to win the round. But this is still a big win in terms of economy. Just the fact that they went in head-to-head and collided with X10, taking down 3 players. They didn't really have the information because of that exchange, and that's one of the reasons why you were seeing, I believe, was it Alexi? She kept turning to check in towards Garden, unsure if there was someone pushing that spot. But you know, that's one of the sacrifices that you have to make. It's still a favorable exchange, I would say. So now they have the rifles. They're going up against 3 sheriffs. It's something that they can use to win this round.
Yeah, but I hope they actually be able to hold these rifles because it's been pretty strong start from X10F and they're hitting their shots, and that's going to be very scary for Bren. They took 3 down the previous round, like you mentioned. That's why the sheriffs are here. But right now they're going for a pretty slow execute. They're trying to feel out things here. That's going to be the owl drone, I believe, being used. They're trying to scout for more information. They're not really finding anyone here. But they're gonna go for this B sandwich. Right now they're gonna find one. Mikasi is good for the spray. Takes one down. She gets taken down low to 45 health though, but they have not checked logs. Baby he takes one down. Ginny with a headshot as well.
Oh my god.
It's now looking pretty good for no! X10F! They're just killing everyone with sheriffs. It's all down to Twirly. We've seen her do crazy things before, but she's outnumbered and there's someone on her back right now. And Polly is gonna take her down. X10F seal this bonus round away.
It's really early on, and I think maybe Bren are just starting to get warmed up because while the approaches look good, while their main objective is to get the spike down, they're kind of losing out in terms of the information game. I mean, the smokes were good and it blocked off a defender's spawn, but at the same time, it's all too telegraphed. X10F, they were prepared for that push. They knew it was coming in towards the B side, which is why we saw players like Alyssa holding down from Speedway along with that sheriff, allowing them to nail those quick headshots. Now this time around, ooh.
Okay, that was a bit too close for comfort, but Baby TZ able to use the rendezvous to get away. Mikasi taking on really low though. Just like you mentioned, the headshots, the positioning, and the timing from X10F really stopping that push. Missing out on that check on logs, I think was the biggest difference maker on that round. But right now, Bren are still trying to find their way into the B side. Mikasi is too low to really do much here.
Still looking for a hit though. And they know that, so they're kind of jump peeking to avoid getting shot. This is still information for X10. They are prepping for a B hit, which is why you can start to see Ginny starting to rotate over. She might have heard something from Twirly as well, who I believe fired off a shot towards Market.
Yeah, she had to shoot the bot, the chamber bot, to actually open up Market, but they're already trying to make their way onto this B side. Alyssa though with an Odin. Baby TZ still has 15 bullets on the rifle. They know. Oh, Mikasi tried to sneak over there. Ginny is gonna get one kill. There's Alyssa. Oh, the headshot from Twirly though takes one down. It's all gonna be down to Mikasi, who gets taken down. 12 HP, not enough to do much. And X10F survive with 4 members alive.
That is just tremendous value, I suppose. I mean, X10F buying out the Odin first of all, playing such an original strat, you know, the recon bolt in towards B main, getting information, spraying and wall banging through, at the same time holding and controlling the map so well. Every single round, take a look at their defensive positions. Ginny is so fluid that she can rotate back and forth through the middle as she needs to. And at the same time, this allows them to control and defend so incredibly well.
Oh, let's see if they can execute this. So Bren have the ultimates. They have the orbital strike from Shirazi as well. So being able to use these together, they should be able to take the site. X10F though, they should be ready for this. They should know. There's the lineup as well from the fragment, destroying the lockdown, immediately discouraging this push. They have not gone through into the site. Muffin is already playing up close as Polly is going to take some attention away. There's orbital strike being committed. Polly is going to get fried by the air fryer, but she takes him down first. Shirazi is going to take him down, but Ginny is going to be there to spray them down. A triple kill from Ginny, and it's going to be 5-0 for X10F.
That is ridiculous. The air fryer, orbital strike, and it just caused so much chaos that I think Bren were just a little bit disjointed. So still trying to force the push. They weren't really expecting Ginny to show up on the off angle, and they just lined up for it a little bit. She managed to spray and burst them down all 3, and that's a 5-0 scoreline. Timeout absolutely necessary at this point.
Definitely, and Polly got a second kill there while in the orbital strike. I think she just randomly shot off her sheriff and actually got a second kill there. I was trying to figure out where that came from, and after watching the replay, it was actually a blind shot. And Bren just really got trapped on that small corridor leading into the A site, and they, like you mentioned, they didn't expect Ginny to come in. And right now, X10F are just running away with this game. Like Bren Victress, they had the ultimates. They used 2 for that. If this is a molly comp, right? Like I was saying, they're ready for that execute. They're ready for those mollies. They're ready for the coordinated push. But even with a lockdown and an orbital strike, they lost that round.
It's so much investment and unfortunately not enough value being gathered back. So it begs the question, there's something wrong that Bren are doing, and I think it's really just because they are playing into X10's palms every single round. Sure, they get bits of map control, sure they get into the site, but it's also kind of predictable perhaps for X10. They're reading Bren's approaches.
Yeah, they definitely have a good read on what Bren is doing. They're definitely a researcher's polycom. Oh, but that's a little bit of an overload of information as they rush Baby TZ down. Muffin gets taken down as well. And starting to look good for Bren, but Alyssa's going to be able to take Shirazi down. That Odin is going to go into their hands though. The last 2 members of X10F are moving their way through defender spawn, and Mikasi is going to be here to hold that. She has the showstopper as well if she wants to use it, but X10F are looking into go through market instead.
Was kind of awkward. Freezing the momentum for a second, and then Baby TZ just trying to shoot out a fragment grenade that was being tossed through the air.
Yeah. What was that about? Like I thought. Did you think it was a recon? Like I wasn't sure if I saw it right. Oh, but Ginny is gonna take one down though. He's gonna be the retake. They're gonna try for this 2v3. 2v4 looked difficult, but they got one already, so they might as well try. Time is ticking though, so they have to play fast. They might want to just make this as expensive as possible by locking the members of Bren Victress in. Foley gets one more. Alexi though is gonna spray them down. That spike is not even gonna explode in time to damage their conflict.
Thankfully, that is going to be the first round that Bren wins back. Thanks to the overwhelming push coming in from market as well as B main. A little bit of an information overload to say the least, but of course the retake still looking quite deadly. This is just the start of the game, and 5-1, Bren needs a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure. And funnily enough, it's the round that they didn't really need to use any ultimates that they won. In fact, it was a thrifty round for them. So something happened in that timeout. I'm not sure what it is, but it's definitely good. And getting that one win will definitely, give them a little bit more confidence. Like, just don't let X10F run away with the game. But 5-1 is such a demoralizing start, really. Like, you expect to go like maybe 3-1 or 2-2 at the beginning, but X10F just won every single round.
He won as many rounds as possible, I suppose. It is a set after all, and on the attacking side, you might have the same difficulties that Bren are starting to face right now. Because what we saw from Open 2 was the fact that they were able to clear out a lot of these fort positions with their utility. They were able to overwhelm sites just by dumping so many grenades. But this time around, the way that X10 are playing, it's just so defensive and different spots that Brent aren't really pushing out. They're getting bits of information here and there, and they really just are kind of starting to read Brent.
Yeah, they're definitely reading Bren, and I think that's what other teams really haven't done so well on Ascent against Bren. This is the first time I've seen them go so far down the back foot. And I think they're just having difficulties finding out where X10Crit their set plays. I think that's the biggest difference here. Their defenses, and I think that can you guess who called the tech pause here?
It's gotta be Bren. I'm seeing
it's a quiz.
Mikasi not moving.
Exactly. All 5 members of X10F are when you play some games and you have to go sneak up, I guess Metal Gear, sneak up on guards, and then you have the vision cone. All the vision cones are going around for X10F. They're patrolling.
Pacing and oh, it might be back, or maybe it's Zinni, but I don't know. Things happen. You taught me before once. What is it called? PLDT.
Yeah. PLDC.
PLDC.
No, it's PLDT, but they call it PLDC loving.
Oh, because DC disconnects.
Exactly. Just Philippine internet things. The thing about the Philippines, though, their ping is decent, but they just get really slowed down, man. It's going to be a 1-for-1 trade to open things off as Bren start to take a lead, but it's going to be a bloodbath at middle as everyone just shoots bullets. It's going to be down to Baby Teasy with this operator. It's now down to 1v2. She's already making her way through tree. Might be able to find one more here to even things out. She's looking the wrong way, though, as Shirazi is going to take her down. Unlucky for her. The timing was just not in her favor.
Kind of overthinking a little bit as well. Like, maybe they might have rotated back around to A main. But unfortunately, no. It's just a slower pace. They out-timed her. And this is just kind of Bren showing how their teamwork really works out. Because when they have a lot of this information, when they have the favorable positions, you bet your butt they're gonna trade on top of trades.
Yeah, it was a bloodbath. We couldn't even see most of the kills because it was happening too fast and everyone just died. That was an expensive commitment for X10F though. They bought an operator, but they can still buy because of that 5-round wins in a row, and they have the tour de force on Baby Teasy. So right now, Bren are the ones playing it a little bit slow, trying to look for picks here and there. They're already making their way to A short. I think they want to commit this A side push at this point as they actually recover the spike. So Zinni takes the spike. There's a fragment coming out. Mikasi gets tagged down a little bit, but Ginny has to run, get out of dodge. Foley is going to take Mikasi down. runs away back to safety. Hunter's Fury getting fully committed, not really tagging anyone, but at least slow down the push to buy time for X10F. It's gonna be Zinni though with the pre-fire. Takes volley down, but Muffin is gonna be on that side. Takes 2 down, dashes away. Ginny is gonna be there. Alyssa is gonna go for the kill as well. And Bren, they lose this round even after a first kill.
That is just how X10 is starting to read once more. I mean, Bren, they were trying to go for these different approaches through middle, and I think X10 are starting to catch on to that once more. With the way that Polly's been positioned, with the way the rest of them are positioned towards the site itself again, holding from Generator, holding from Heaven. It's once Bren starts to make their advances in, that's when X10 strikes. That's when they peak out and they find all of these kills.
It's gonna be the kills left and right for X10F, and the way they flow, it's not just one person killing everyone. You saw Muffin, after her double kill, dashes away to safety. Immediately her teammates pop out and go for those kills, and that's what makes it so difficult for them to take the sites, because you're not just watching one person. Suddenly, after you know where one person is, someone else pops out, taking the attention away, making it so hard to aim at Bren. I'm not sure if Turley was able to find X10F, or rather to see Baby TZ there, but Baby TZ definitely saw her first.
A little bit of information trade for both sides, but the main thing is Bren are still trying to force this B split push. They might get pincered in though, because Ginny is fully aware of this, and we saw this in that other round before in the first, when they had the Sheriff walking right into sight. He's already prepared for this, and instantly quickscopes yet another. Showstopper comes back into trade though.
Still might be enough. No, Alexi takes Alyssa down. I thought she would be able to hold that, but it looks like X10F are on the back foot this time around. I thought Baby TZ's double kill was enough, but it just a little bit too fast. Bren are just playing too strong right now. They went through mid, they went through market, and right now it's gonna be a 2v3 situation, but they're all on the back side. Zinni is gonna take Muffin down. It's gonna be 1v3 right now. There's no chance that Polly gets this as Alexi shuts her down.
Bren, once they've gotten past that first barrier, just getting the spike down, getting control over the site, they get to set up these defensive positions, and once X10 walks in towards them, that's when they get to dictate this fight. So it's a question of whether or not they can actually find enough map control, whether they can exploit these tiny gaps inside of X10's defense. And this time, overwhelming Baby TZ, overwhelming the likes of the rest of the team, with ultimates such as Showstopper, allows them to pull off that fact. But this is the thing, it's 6-3 now. I think they need a couple more rounds because they're starting on the attacking side.
Yeah, definitely need more. X10F are pretty comfortable with being at least 6, and they can still buy at this point in time. And it looks like they have a very good read of what's happening right now. Bren, this lineup typically requires them to be all 5 on one side, something different from what we've seen earlier. As they run into the site, they're clearing the site right now. They use the orbital strike, they use the null command as well on KO, making space for them. It's going to be a 5v5 retake. Polly has been taken down quite a bit low. There's a fragment coming out as well. And right now, it looks like there's going to be a flank. Finally, Twirly slowly inching her way towards short here. There's the Cosmic Divide coming out as well, but it looks like it might be a successful backstab from Twirly as she creeps up into tree. She might be able to even get 2. There's 1. Gets 2 as well, and there's the flank. Successful for Twirly. 5v2 right now. It's not looking good for X10F, and it is a flawless round for Bren Victress.
Approaching it back into it. They are starting to figure it out now. Sending Twirly all the way with the big flank, that was something that I don't think X10F really expected. So timeout being called by their coach, and this is where you might start to sweat, because this is just the first map, and it's something that you really, really need. You had the big lead. How is it slipping away?
Yeah, so 5-0 start and now a 6-4. It looks like they never even had that big lead to begin with. And right now, Bren, their executes, they finally tweaked it a little bit, and I think that was the key factor here. They've been trying executes here and there, but finally being able to just tighten up their timings. Off of that timeout, by the way, it was 5-0. They call a timeout, they win the Thrifty, they steal a round away, and then immediately now they have four rounds of, they're 4-1 since that timeout.
And it's just, I don't really know how that It's gonna help either side. 6-4 right now, and I mean, with a bit of this eco, it's gonna allow for Bren to possibly come back stronger into the game. I mean, with all of their this Molly comp, right? Even if they don't win the remaining rounds, just the fact that they have 4. On defense, you can bet that they're gonna be able to delay and stall so much.
Yeah, for sure, and we'll have to see if X10F can at least break this streak from Bren, because right now they definitely want more than 6 here, especially on defense. Right now, 6-4. There's the lockdown being the baby teasy with that headhunter. It's gonna be an eco for them, so they just want to try to make this as expensive as possible. That's gonna be 2 kills for Bren Victress already, and Muffin is gonna peek out, gets the headshot as well, but gets fried by that Molly. All down to Ginny right now. She only has a sheriff to her name. The spike is down already. She's just gonna try to look for as many kills as she can. I don't think she's hoping to win this, but at least there's as much damage as she can, because this spike is already ticking, but Alexi is ready for the angle.
Perfect game sense too. I mean, I think it's a good bit of damage, but just because the fact that Bren has been coming back into this game, winning so many rounds in a row, no matter how many kills you get, that's not enough economical damage for this team. So, really aggressive and really sharp plays, but I don't think it hurt Bren that much.
No, not at all. And since it's the last round, they can just full buy everyone guns anyway. And on the side of X10F, oh, double up on attack?
On attack? Exactly.
I actually think they're just trying to look for picks at the beginning, because you kind of expect X10F rather to push out forward, and that gamble is not paying off, but they take a little bit of more map control. It's a little bit slower from Bren right now, but X10F are actually already committed 3 onto A. A little bit of a forward position for them. Bren, it looks like they haven't really chosen which side they want to go to.
It's a very intentional gap that X10F has deployed in towards the middle side. I mean, not a single player to be spotted defending mid, but they do have the trademark. And this just means that pushing in towards A main, quite the number of utilities in towards B, once they get a little bit of information, they will be able to guarantee where the site hit is coming towards. So the question just becomes, how fast can they actually respond? If it's going towards B, maybe not that fast at all. It comes down to whether or not Baby DB can anchor it down with her operator, and she starts it off perfectly.
Yeah, that first kill is very important, because right now they buy a little bit of time, and there's an offensive operator. Baby TZ gets a second though. Trying to look for a third, gets a third from midair as well. Uses the tour de force as well, gets a 4 kill. Baby TZ is on a tear and just stopped Bren in their tracks. 4v1 right now, and that was just the Baby TZ show.
What in the sniper is that? I just can't believe it. Alexi even spraying down the double. It's not enough. And Muffin closes it out for X10 in the end of the first half with a 7-5. What? It's just so sharp. Even with the fact that you have, I believe, Wakasi satcheling upwards into the air, she still hit that flick.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of a, I guess, miscoordination. Not being able to catch that chamber was one of the biggest mistakes for Bren in that round. Although Bren was able to bring it back, I'd like to remind everyone this is Bren's map pick. So X10F being in the lead coming to the second half, they still need a few more rounds to equalize. And basically, if X10F are able to run with this map pick, I'm afraid for map 2. But right now, I'm not gonna count them off this early. But X10F have come to play.
They certainly have. I mean, reading the situations correctly, just playing this really interesting way of controlling the map, right? Not a single player just positioned towards mid. Maybe Ginny's every now and then she wants to rotate over, but more often than not, they just leave it open for the utility, and they bank on the fact that you've got anchors such as Baby TZ. You know, once you get that little trademark popping off, all right, yeah, hits going towards B, Baby TZ, prepare for it. I think that's how just how the team kind of works around it. That's how Ginny kind of plays as an IGL.
Yeah, for sure. And it's working really well for them. Like Ginny, you can see that she's kind of like the commander. She's like in the middle, commanding her teams on both sides of the side. Their rotations are just too fast. They were able to overwhelm Bren with suffocating defense. And Bren, they strung a few rounds together though, so props to them. 5-7 right now. And this is their map pick though, so they definitely want to win on their map pick. But like you mentioned, the last time they faced each other, it was X10F that won Ascent against Bren on Bren's pick.
I'm still kind of on the fence because it's a little bit early to tell. 7-5 is a very close scoreline, and when you have a team such as Brent swapping over onto the defensive side, unless XNF has a specific way of consistently chaining rounds together, I think Bren are actually going to be able to take the fight back to them because they have the potential to play aggressively if they really want to. Not that we see it very often, but more often than not, what they really do is just play this very conservative style. And it's something that can work out so incredibly well on the defensive side.
I completely agree. So let's see if on attack they can change things up a bit. You know, the tempo is the most important part here. Whether X10F has the tempo to overwhelm Bren, that remains to be seen because they have a different lineup, right? It's more of the standard lineup that we're used to seeing on Ascent already. Not that many mollies, I'd say 2, but they do have control because of the Astra. I think that's a big difference. A little bit more control than Brim does.
And that's just, I guess, maybe the name of the game. How much can you really control, especially now that the sides have been swapped? So X10,
area.
I mean, position towards middle, actually pushing down A short a little bit, but that recon from Zinni, ooh, so much info.
So much information from X10F, and they're already able to capitalize on that. They get the kills. They get 2 kills already, in fact, and they have control over the B side. Actually, just a thorn on their side. Muffin. Oh, they actually take them down though. So that's the 2 thorns on their side already broken up. And right now it's going to be a 3v3. So they've equalized things already. But the spike is down, so they're going to have to break this door. That's a bit of time already bought by the 2 flankers. But Bren Victress want to try to get this round back. Want to try to at least get to defuse. But there's some Molly coming out. But she gets taken down by Polly. So it's a 3v2 right now. Twirly and Mikasi, they have to run. Time is ticking. And right now, they can find one. They take Polly down. That's the thing onto Baby TZ. It's not enough. Right now, 7 HP left on Mikasi, but it's a 2v1 situation, and the time is ticking. They just need to buy a little bit more time, but Baby TZ is going to take her down, and X10F get the round.
Yeah, not even time anymore. Mikasi down to so low. Just anything. They could even go in and knife her if they wanted to. But of course, this is just an unfortunate, I think, circumstance for Bren. They had a chance, but when it came down to it, the utilities, the peaks, and ultimately just losing out in those duels with the ghosts. And of course, X10 winning it means that they get to go back in with the Spectres. Now, this is the second pistol round that X10 has won, and carrying on with this momentum, it's going to be a big lead.
Yeah, it's definitely it's a momentum-based thing, right? 7-5. If Bren wins the pistol round, they can go 7-7. But right now, X10F won the pistol round, so it's going to trend towards a 9-5 instead. Bren have also chosen not to really buy up this round, so that's going to be 2 shorties for them, which is a relatively very low investment. There's a fragment coming out as well, so that's going to be a dash from Muffin. There's already 4 players from Bren here, so this can be costly for X10F, but as I say that, they're actually making their way towards the B site. They're going through mid, already breaking the defenses down, breaking the door down. Alexi is going to wait here with a shorty. Might be able to get one. It's Muffin down as she gets sprayed down by Alyssa. They're going to check main if there's anyone there. They're going to give the all clear right now. But Bren Victress, they're still trying to look for kills here.
A pretty good bit of bit of value, but the painful thing is the fact that X10 are roaming around and looking for those final frags. Alyssa with a double and Ginny to close things off. 9-5, and this is just an example of how fluid X10F can be. Starting things off towards the middle and then making a quick adaptation towards B. And after that, they don't stay stagnant. They don't stay still. They move around from market to find the remaining frags.
They only lost one member as well for them, but right now it's gonna be that bonus round for them. Baby TZ, of course, has the Frenzy, has the Headhunter as well. Full 8 stacks, and by next round, they're gonna have so much treads. But focusing on this round right now, it looks like they're gonna play it a little bit slower this time around. They're just trying to look for kills, trying to get a little bit more mid control and information here, but it looks like Bren Victress are starting to push out of B main. So there's 2 of them right now. They haven't really pushed out, so they're not going to see this cross. It looks like it's going to be a fast A execute for Bren Victress. Rather for X10F. As they dash in, they clear the site. It's all down to this lone killjoy on site. She's hiding behind the smokes. She's hiding behind that corner in that pillar there. But this spike is probably going to go down. Curly is waiting patiently for her teammates. Shirazi is going to be there to take Ginny down. Polly gets taken down as well, but they got the spike on it at the very least. X10F are going to be happy with this. They take more down, but Muffin takes 1 down, takes 2, makes it a little bit more expensive. But Bren Victress close this round and make it a 9-6.
Okay, fairly standard. Still losing on the bonus, but putting quite a bit of damage to the Bren Victress team. It's a very interesting approach of just making quick adaptations and kind of bypassing that utility because of the tailwind from Jet, but at the same time, they still sustain quite a bit. So when it came down to it, the trades and the standard rifles that you've got from Bren really netted them back that win in terms of firepower. But of course, economy-wise, well, actually, they're both pretty okay. And this is going to be back to that full 5v5 fight.
Yeah, the 5v5, all rifles. This is where Bren Victress can mount their comeback, or this is where X10F can blow the game wide open. It's going to be a default for X10F right now. They're just patiently waiting. They know Bren likes to push. They're ready for this. But right now, it looks like Bren is just going to back off. They're just not looking for anything at all. They just can't find a single piece of information. But X10F, they're already prepping up. They're already creeping forward. Mikasi is ready with those paint shields. She might just throw it. There's a flash coming out. There's the paint shields as well. There's a counter flash. But Muffin is already far forward. She actually dashed into the paint shields. She gets tagged down really low, but Alexi has already been taken down. There's the damage done. They're trying to get a little bit more A control here for the side of X10F as they're inching towards the A site led by Polly. So I think this might just be X10F dictating the pace. Yeah,
exactly. A little bit of regression in towards B main, and they instantly rotate back around towards the middle. And they're actually not even really headed towards A short. They're going back around towards A main. If you're in Bren's shoes right now, it's a big question mark, and you're not entirely sure how to respond.
30 seconds left.
Yeah, they're just not sure what to do at this point in time because X10F are just dictating the pace. They're the ones saying that, hey, you play on our terms. Curly pops the swarm grenade, is able to bait Polly into swinging and takes her down. This is the orbital strike being used as well. They have to rush into the site because time is ticking. Shirazi is on that corner as well, but Muffin makes good care to pre-fire it. Oh, they actually get 3. That plant is definitely going to go down to a 1v3 right now. Zinni, the lone member remaining for Bren Victress, and it looks like X10F has this round in the bag. Right now, they only has 1 utility. Only the recon immediately gets destroyed. She doesn't have any information at all. It's down to a 1v3. She can't find anyone. They're waiting so patiently. They're waiting for a drop. They're waiting for a drop before the swing happens. And as contact is made, she gets taken down. Ginny takes Zinni down, and X10F are in double digits.
Double digits for X10F, and it's all because they're so patient with the way that they approach it. They know they have control over the map, and maybe not constant dominant control, but in the sense that they can just fairly rotate over. Bren are just playing such a passive game that I believe X10 are just kind of really figuring out how to exploit it. Because if you take a look at the minimap so far, Bren hasn't really been pushing out all that much except for a couple of rounds.
Yeah, just a few rounds that look good for them. And X10F though, I think it's really just about the tempo, right? Bren Victress on the attacking side, they control the tempo a little bit, but right now X10F are playing faster, so they're trying to get Bren Victress confused. They know that they don't have the guns, so they're taking advantage of that. They're playing really fast. The spike is gonna go down as well. And it looks like Bren Victress are scrambling to just look for some semblance of control here. That's gonna be 5 rifles. Oh, they actually changed their plant position. Baby TZ takes Alexi down as well. They just can't find anything at all. 3v5 retake right now. Only sheriffs to their names. Bren Victress are on the back foot, and it looks like X10F are gonna run away with this round. As Bren Victress trying so hard to get into the site. Shirazi is gonna take VCT down though, with Polly with a spray down, Alyssa with a cleanup as well, and X10F are on 11 to 6.
11 to 6, and that is such a dominant score. It's daunting for Bren to even try to mount a comeback at this point. They've saved for this round, but now on the next, even though they will have rifles, what happens if they lose this one, Marquis? I mean, that's going to be match point. They're probably not going to have enough for the following round. Oh my goodness, that's terrible.
Yeah, not at all. Like they can buy. Twirly doesn't even have a buy right now. I'm not sure why she's saving here, but I think that she's probably just gonna wait for someone to die first and then take the rifles. I think that might be something that they're trying to do here. I'm not sure if it's the smartest thing to do. I think she should have just bought anyway. But right now it's gonna be the tour de force committed. I believe it was Baby Teasy, yes. Trying to just hold here. They're XNF, they're expecting a push. Yeah, they're expecting a push. But Bren, they're not pushing. So XNF, they're gonna have to play a bit faster right now because half of the clock has already been burned at this point.
Yeah, it's a bit of a stalemate for both sides. But of course, again, X10, you know they have the guns. You know that even if the timer runs down, they can really brute force the site if they want to. So making their way in towards the garden right now, they are able to gain a little bit of space, but not before Alexi actually goes in for a quick.
Right now, it looks like X10, they're making their way towards B. They've baited the Bren Victress rotation to A. This is, I'm not sure what's going on here, but they're in their heads a bit too much, and Twirly, only lone defender of B side, only has a classic. She can't even defend this for her life unless she gets these really crazy headshots with the right click. Oh, well, there we go. Left click headshots. Does not get a second though, as X10. It's running out of time, but they're killing everyone anyway, so it doesn't matter. They get spiked down anyway. Just in the nick of time, but it looks like they're going to go to match point because 1v3 again. We've seen this before. Zinni, the lone member remaining alive for Bren Victress, and X10F are already in their post-plant positions.
And all they gotta do is just wait. Because Zinni has no choice but to push up. She dumps a little bit of utility, gets a little bit of info from the recon bolt, but at this point, you and I know as well as they do that the game is gone and it's gonna be match point for X10F.
Baby TZ with another 4K. Double peek from them as well. Well coordinated to really put the nail in the coffin here for Bren as they inch up to match point. It was so close. It's 7-5 coming to the second half. But X10F are quick to take control over this game.
I mean, I have to say, it seems really confusing and almost as if they are overthinking their strats a little bit. But it's like I mentioned before, they have the freedom to pursue all of these different routes as they choose. That's what X10F is doing. It's a very fluid style of pushing a little bit over to the other side, forcing the rotations, and then rotating all the way back. Yes, they cut it very close at times, but they know that they can make it happen. They're confident in making these plays.
It's really the confidence. Like, everything seemed to just be so close, but they know what they're doing, and they've gotten away with it multiple times. So they're playing a slow default yet again. The gun's not really great for Bren Victress.
Not at all. But that's also something that I think X10F are starting to kind of be concerned about. Without that much economy, those shotguns can be so annoying and pesky to deal with. So it's the corner clearing that's going to be exceptionally important in this round.
Well, they're going through A main, so they're not really going to meet this judge. And I think that if they just don't go towards tree, they'll be fine. There's a smoke coming out. Here's the execute coming. There's the Cosmic Divide being committed as well, blocking off Heaven. Right now, Shirazi is going to use that smoke. There's going to be the Hunter's Fury to slow down his push a little bit. As Zinni takes one down, Mikasa takes one down with the Boombot as well. Guns be damned, they take two down with utility, but Ginny is here. She takes down Alexi. Spike is going to get planted very soon. It's not going to be planted on default. In fact, it's all the way towards near Heaven. There's the Killjoy Lockdown Defender actually being used So they're gonna have to empty out this side, but they're actually getting pinched. They're actually getting sandwiched here. Bren, with this retake, is gonna be extremely clean off of that lockdown.
One way to actually retake the site, but again, this is all off of the lockdown that they had. That's something that you don't have every single round. They managed to trap the X10F players this time, but can they do it again? And not just again, they gotta do it for 5 more rounds, Marquis.
Yeah, just 5, a little bit of a tall task, but if there's anyone that can do it, definitely Bren. They're one of the top in VCT game changers. But right now, X10F, they still have economy to buy the next 2 rounds, so it's really a mountain to climb for Bren right now.
Definitely. A little bit steep, but with enough hard work, with enough dedication, and just being careful enough, I believe that they can do it. Still though, Baby TZ pulling out her operator this time around, and she is looking all the way down middle, all the way up towards A short. Her team is pushing up along it as well. Makasi's ready to receive.
Not ready, I guess, as they get taken down. They committed 2 on that, but they just get taken out anyway. This is a 4-stack on A, but it doesn't matter. X10F want to close this game right now. They don't want to give Bren Victress an inch.
And without that inch, unfortunately, I hate to say it, but it's going to be so tough for Bren to actually come back in.
Spike planted.
The retakes are looking nigh impossible, and even with the window being broken now, they have to consider so much, because take a look at your mini-map. ABTZ. It's just so many layers of defenses coming in from X10 now that they have control over the sites.
It's the onion yet again, right? X10F. They have their own onion. Bren Victress has not filled enough layers there as Polly takes Alexi down. Turley though, they even things out. What is going on here?
I am stunned with what just happened. How did they make that work? Coming in from heaven, coming in from the door itself. They managed to kind of confuse X10, who are overwhelmed by so many of these different angles.
I got overwhelmed. Like I didn't even see Turley go down there. X10F with a great start here makes it an immediate 3v5. They even take Alexi down. We saw Zinni's point of view. She takes 2 down from Generator, from A short as well. But Turley just jumped in from heaven and killed 3 of her own. She was twirling like a ballerina there, just killed 3.
She got her spinning like a ballerina. And I have to say, at the same time, it's also possibly a little bit of assistance from Alexi with the null command, kind of keeping them trapped in because they couldn't use their utilities to aid them in that fight. So Bren playing that utility game is really giving them a little bit of an edge. But is it going to be enough, though? 4 more rounds to push into overtime.
And they still have a full buy on X10F. They just need 1 more. But Bren seems to have found their footing. And if they can just hold strong, this might be scary for X10F. But they're still in a comfortable 4-round lead, right? They can still afford to lose 4 rounds and it'll be overtime, but they just need 1. That 1 round, seemingly so difficult to get.
It's difficult, but they've got 4 chances. So I really don't want to count anything out at this point in time. Assessing different options, they're pushing down the middle now. It's worked for them earlier on, the early rounds of the second half, but now they're getting caught out by utility as well. It's so much information being gathered by Bren that they're rotating over.
Yeah, they've already rotated 2 members. 3-man defense right now. Alexi is gonna take Muffin down, immediately runs away to safety. Baby TZ is gonna take Shirazi down though. So all down to a 4v4. But X10F, they're running out of time. They're gonna have to run in fast. Only 12 seconds left for the clock. They're gonna try to clear side, but Bren Victress are holding strong.
Oh, no.
Polly is gonna be there. She's gonna be able to jump to the side. She can get the plant down, but no, the showstopper is gonna be there to stop it.
Stylish way to finish things off. You fly into the air and send an explosive rocket as you descend into the abyss. It's 12-9 now, and Bren are starting to bring things back just because of the perfect reads, and thanks to Twirly's anchoring, I gotta say, coming in from Boathouse, she was prepared for this, along with Alexi as well. It's so tough for X10 to actually try to find a way to crack this code because the same time, the same ways that they were playing at the first half, Bren are playing similarly too. They are getting so much information, and I wouldn't really say like actual map control, but bits of presence just through sheer utility alone.
Yeah, it's definitely the presence. That's the scariest part. X10F, they're suddenly spooked. They're suddenly having a difficult time. And it looks like this timeout is they're planning something. You can see the pings right now. It's gonna be an A, maybe an A execute, trying to clear things, trying to make the just seal the deal here.
It's getting a little bit more close. I mean, don't really have the full economy. Are they forcing? No, there's some internal discussions going on, but man, if Bren makes a single mistake, and you know that this can still happen, there is a chance that X10F still can actually close this out. Bren needs to play a full perfect game, and because they're starting to change such a lead, their ultimates are coming into it. You've got the operator from Akasi as well.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I not big fan of Ray's op, but right now still a full buy. No, not a full buy. Only Ginny has bought the Blade Storm buy from Muffin. The rest of the team, a little bit of a half buy, 2 sheriffs, 1 Spectre as well. Looks like A side is open, so they are planning to go for this A rush. The Molly is a little bit too late. They're gonna do a little bit of damage though, but they're able to get into the site. Orbital Strike is ready, but they're not just gonna use it yet. I think they want to use it for the retake. They're spraying up a little bit. There's the Orbital Strike coming out, but the spike has not been planted yet. Muffin gets air fried in the site. The spike does go down, and Shirazi gets tasty down as well. That knife is gonna spot so many though. That's gonna be triple suppress. Akasi and Shirazi getting killed. He's gonna be a flawless round. A 4K for Shirazi.
Just from Garden alone, too. Shirazi, wow. And this is how Bren are starting to play the defense. Getting bits of information, and then actually just going for the full retakes at the end of the day. They know that they have all these pieces of utility. They know that they can keep X10F trapped inside of the A site. And of course, our lovely observer capturing everything through this tiny little camera hole. You gotta love it. Love the flybys, but again, this comes back to it. How does X10 actually find a way to close this out? They just need 1 round.
Yeah, just need 1, but if they lose this, the next round is gonna be not a full buy. So they have full buy this round. They just need 1 more. They just need to win this. Otherwise, it looks like overtime is pretty likely. Right now, it looks like it's going to be a slow default again. So it's a little bit of a different approach. Like they really look like they're pretty spooked here, but it looks like they're gonna go for A instead. So slowly creeping their way up here. A lobby. Meanwhile, Alyssa is actually creeping down back to their spawns, and it's gonna be a full execute onto A. It seems they're just waiting. Time is ticking. Bren, they're not rotating, and there's null command being used. They're rushing into the site. There's a dash. There's a cosmic divide as well. Will it be successful this time? It remains to be seen. As they take positions right now, there's the recon bolt as well. They're gonna clear the site. It's gonna be a 5v5 retake.
Twirly has the lockdown available to drop. So as soon as this Cosmic Divide disappears, that's when they're going to start the catalyst to go in for this retake. There it comes. And X10F has to be prepared. Take a look at what is happening on your minimap too, though. Ginny possibly going for the flank, and Punisher actually destroying that. Oh, this could be the chance.
This is it. This is definitely what they wanted to happen. They stopped the lockdown. They actually have baby
oh my God,
trap. Twirly is really opening things up here. That's gonna be a swing from Zinni. It's taken by Alyssa though. And X10F, they might just done it. They've done it. X10F take this round 13-10, and map 1 is stolen away from Bren Victress.
Despite making it fairly close with the comeback, it still ends in the 13-10 just because I think it's a little bit too much of a reliance on ultimates and utilities. Yes, it's a lot of information. Yes, it's a pretty solid retake. But what happens when your opponents, they have the Hunter Shooter, they have ultimates of their own as well, and not to mention one heck of a flank by Ginny and her teammate, I think Polly. That is one way that the X10 have finally figured out the solution to stop this Bren defense.
Yeah, that was a difference maker right there. It looked pretty dicey, not gonna lie, for X10F. But they finally figured it out. They needed just that one round to win. Bren, they made it close. But X10F stealing this map pick away, stealing Ascent away from Bren, which is arguably, I believe, their best map, is really good.
Super, I mean, well thought out towards the end, just making these adaptations as well. It started off with X10F really playing the information game and just kind of being prepared for Bren's advances. They managed to take them down, but not before the comeback started to become a reality. At the same time, though, despite all these little adjustments from Bren, they're losing out to X10F in terms of these adaptations, in terms of these gunfights, honestly. Because even with all the reads that they can make, even with all the pieces of utility that they throw out, X10F just make one quick rotation around, they change something up a little bit, and all of a sudden Bren's game plan, they've got to catch up to that.
Yeah, it's Bren they just didn't have enough left in the tank. X10F built too big of a lead, and because of that, they're just not able to really equalize the score. So MVP off this map, Baby TZ, of course. We see her on the chamber, really just taking everyone out. Even the hold in that last round took 2 down. I think she had 2 quad kills this game as well. She's just absolute monster. Like that round, I know which round you're talking about. It's the operator round where she took 4 down on that B side hold. Really the MVP for X10F.
Undoubtedly one of the strongest operator players that we have in FSL and VCT Game Changers APAC, and she's definitely one of those players that you want to look out for. Ginny, her presence is felt throughout the entire map, throughout the entire game. You might not really see some of these, but she's kind of making some of these plans and calling some strats, but it's up to the rest of her team to really execute and follow through on that. And it's players like Baby TZ, players like Polly, and the rest of the gang to really secure that. I mean, Shirazi as well, though, honestly.
Yeah, that Sheriff kill, she was an orbital strike, and she just fired her Sheriff. Got a kill there. But you can see, at the first part of the first half, it was the X10F, that 5-0 start. But then this is the lockdown from Baby TZ. Gets the second, got the third in midair, even gets the fourth here. But yeah, I'm not sure. The tour de force just really got that fourth.
That's a cool end.
And this, it is really. And she just locked things down. On attack, on defense, she was the anchor that X10F needed. X10F, there's another quad kill here for Baby TZ. So that really just was crazy for her. Bren Victress with utilities, like you mentioned, got back into the game, but when the utilities are not hitting, that was a Zinni play with Turley as well, so a little bit of heroics as well, but X10F, their lead was too big for Bren Victress to surmount.
It's a good lead, and it's one that really helps for X10F, and we start to see signs of life for Bren. Like, we know that they can make these adaptations, we know that they can read things, but of course, I mean, still losing on the first map and the next being Breeze. How's that going to play out? I'm not entirely sure, Marquis.
Yeah, we'll have to see, but we're going to go for a short break before we go into map number 2. Don't touch that browser because we'll be right back.
and get it crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here. Everybody round, everybody round here. Know we getting hype. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here. Know we getting hype.
Man, such a close comeback for Bren Victress, but unfortunately still losing the map 13-10. Question is, can they actually make a comeback right now on Breeze? Because this is the upper bracket final between Bren Esports Victress and X10 Female. We are casters. Hey, I'm Quack, and this is Marquee VCT Game Changers APAC Open 3. I'm not really sure how Breeze is gonna go. It's X10F's pick.
Yeah, I agree. We're just gonna breeze through the map picks real quick, of course. Bren Victress have chosen defense, so we don't really see Bren play Breeze that much. Only a few teams actually pick Breeze against them, and it's just one of those maps, like you mentioned. The newer maps typically tend to be less in favor for a lot of teams, and they typically get banned out in a best of 3. But X10F, they like Breeze, and judging by the first map, they look like the better team today. I'm not saying they're the better team overall, but today they showed up. They stole map 1 away from Bren, and we'll see if they can close things out against Bren on Breeze.
Yeah, it's definitely a thing where I think X10F, they pick it because it's so big, it's so open. Of course, they can rotate around as well, but it's also a bit of an, I don't know, Opera's paradise for like players like Baby TZ, for example. And on the other hand, though, it's not like we haven't seen Bren perform incredibly well before. I believe the previous Open. Oh right, Yoru
and a Neon. Okay, I like this. I mean, I'm sorry for cutting you off on on what you were saying just now, but I'm really happy to see this Muffin on the Yoru, Baby TZ on the Neon, Mikasi on the Neon as well. Let's go. This is the start of a new meta, and we're seeing it. And you know what? I like to say, when you're casting game changes earlier on last year, at least, everyone seemed to just have this cookie cutter lineup of Jet Raze, Jet Reyna, plus Sova Omen, and then Killjoy. It's just the same thing. With new agents coming in this time around, the meta is evolving a lot faster, even for game changers, and I'm so happy to actually see that. Fade's not enabled yet, unfortunately,
but soon.
But yeah, I'd be excited to see that.
I really do think it's going to be a possible meta-changing pick, but at the same time, just focusing back into this one. Yeah, I was thinking about it because I remember Zinni, or was it Shirazi, who was playing on the Cypher from the previous Open, and they landed a pretty strong clutch with Cyber Cage plays that were just absolutely masterful. But in towards this one with such different agents now. I mean, Yoru, this is a map that we've seen before. I mean, even before X10F was a thing, when they were still under Mad Army last year. They had a player called Anko. They also played under a similar roster. And they would play such interesting strats of actually using Yoru, and the fact that this map is so big, teleporting back and forth with the gate crash. Now the fact that you can actually fake it, it's putting a lot of question marks into my head. I'm not entirely sure how Bren will actually be able to read this.
Yeah, let's see how they can actually play this Yoru on this map, because well, we started seeing Yoru in Masters as well, mostly Forsaken, and they kind of made it work. They made it all the way to top 4 with it, and I think that X10F, they kind of had the idea of how to use Yoru. Like you mentioned, it was Anko at that point, kind of like figuring out how to implement Yoru on this map, and I want to see how it works.
Muffin though this time. Muffin used to be the Jet player, and now they've swapped it around over. Baby TZ going from Sentinel to Neon. It's very curious to say the least. But again, it comes back to how Bren actually kind of adjusts to this, because they have to be prepared for this potential aggression that XN will have. I mean, keep in mind at the same time, just the fact that you have a gate crash, you have so much potential. Maybe go in for some distractive plays in towards an opposite site, and then just to teleport over to regroup with your team. Or maybe even do the opposite and it just cause so much chaos. This is going to be an untested ground, I think, for Bren Victress.
Yeah, let's see if they're ready for that. And for Bren Victress also, they have their own lineup on this map. Cypher is a little bit of a strange pick for me, but I mean, if they can make it work, I've seen some teams make it work. The Cyber Cage, you can be creative a little bit with it. Mikasi on the Neon as well, so that's going to be really interesting.
Well, at the very least, X10F starting on the attack, they get to mess around a little bit more. And meanwhile, Bren, they're really going to have to... I'm just trying to think through some of these scenarios. They have to play a very conservative style, because if you lose out to the aggression really early on and lose out in terms of numbers, that's just a standard play in the book. Numbers advantage, X10F are going to have a big lead. But here it goes. Instant flash over in towards mid wooden doors, and they have the A site.
Yeah, they immediately run into A. Just quick execution from X10F here. They know what they're doing.
Bad move.
It's gonna be a kill. Baby TZ opening things up. Muffin is really low though. So right now they're just inching away, taking control, chipping away at Bren Victress's hold over the site, and Bren Victress had to play this 4v5 retake right now. There's gonna be the stun coming out. Baby TZ is gonna flick onto Mikasi, and Polly takes one down as well. Baby TZ 10 HP, but they just can't kill her. She slides away. Oh, Alexi was ready for that. She was actually holding the angle for a wide swing. And right now, 1v4. What can Alexi do? Almost an impossible task, but not impossible. If she gets those headshots, she gets 3, but Ginny is gonna be there to take her down.
Good flicks, sharp aim, but unfortunately towards the end, just again, sheer numbers, you always leave some angles exposed, and that is where X10F swings and finds the final frag. But still, I mean, this was a very fast and almost clean take by X10F.
Yeah, almost clean. Alexi though pulling a little bit of some heroics. Best part about this, Alexi can build a little bit more of her ultimate. That's already 4 points for her. A little bit of economy as well, allowing her to buy the sheriff on this round.
Deploying drone.
So hopefully that comes in handy, but still, ooh, a little bit of over-aggression perhaps in towards middle. Fortunately, they will lose Baby TZ still though. They have the guns, they have control over the site, and now Spike getting planted. It's up to Bren to retake.
It's gonna be a more difficult retake, even after they got that first pick. They just don't have the guns for it. There's the stun coming out. Muffin actually gets stunned over, but Ginny is gonna be here to try and help her out. They're trying to sandwich. Oh, the teleport. Oh, Ali was not... She was waiting, but she would seem to have missed the shots. X10. 2v2 right now though. It's looking pretty dicey for them, but they still have the advantage. They still have the positions. They have Ginny sandwich, Alexi rather sandwich. As Ginny takes her down, it's now down to a 2v1. All down to Zinni with this Spectre. Alyssa just buying time. They know they've got this in the bag. They can just bring the time down. And it's gonna be X10F running away with this round. They made it expensive, but a win is a win. Oh, even more expensive.
Oh! A win is a win, and it is a good take, but of course, that's something that you have to consider. Losing 4 players, the 4th one dying to the spike, has to be a bit of a mistake, and now they're gonna have to, in a way, force buy into this 3rd round. Meanwhile, Bren gets to come in with a bit of economy that they've built up. Not to mention the ultimates in the form of Alexi, who got the triple in the 1st round. This, Marquise, is going to be something that they have to think about in their next approach. So, fast lane out into 2, they want to make the quick push to get the spike down, but unfortunately, just blind sprays through, not to mention the 0 point. It's big info, big suppression, and they will be able to trap them into that choke point for the time being, but Alexa still just kind of spraying and praying outside of it. She finds 2, brings the numbers back in for X10F. Still now staying in the same choke point. Thankfully, I suppose, Bren will be able to peek out and swing again, finding the final 3. This is numbers back in for Bren, 1-2.
Yeah, they finally get that. They lost 2 though off of that flank. But I'd just like to point out, I think we missed pointing this out earlier. Turley has actually subbed out for Alyssa. For Ali, rather. We have an Ali, we have an Alyssa, we have an Alexi. It's gonna be a little bit confusing here, but bear with us. Yeah, that's the power of a substitute, right? Or you can refresh them as well. So someone coming in fresh, a little bit less tired, especially after playing a long game, I think that actually can help. But right now, X10F, this is their buy round. Let's see if they can steal this away from Bren as Alexi opens things up with a kill onto Polly.
Was that one of those boosted spots where she gets to find one over the head? Now Zinni with the Bulldog as well, just bursting through. 2 players instantly gone. And X10F are going to have to think twice, be a little bit more careful if they want to make a mid play.
Yeah, it's already difficult for them. 3v5. Slowly inching their way onto this A side. They've chosen their side, but there's 3 members off Bren here. They need to clear them first before getting in. They're gonna take the ultimate orb as well. That's a little bit of a, I guess, greedy play. Oh, the recon is gonna spot her. She can't shoot it because it lands right behind her legs. So she's gonna have to dash away into safety, but it looks like X10F are changing their minds. They're going towards B instead. They don't have that much time though. I think X10F are, they really like cutting it close. Left. We've seen that in the previous map. They're doing it again this time around. They're running all the way to B. But there's only 20 seconds left. I'm not even sure if they can get onto the side and plant it. There's 1 defender left. If they can take Zinni down, then they have the chance. There's only 1 member actually guarding the side. There's the spike.
There it is.
They're gonna be able to plant this. The tripwire was not enough to discard him. It's gonna be Alyssa tagged down really low. Can reload still. Can find those headshots still if she plays this right.
Beat those headshots. Especially if they want to fend off this retake, but wow, Freshman right in front. Thankfully doesn't really connect on towards Ginny, but she still is alive. Needs to find even more, but unfortunately Alexi just goes and swings onto it. And there it is, Bren winning out in terms of the retake. It's a very close style. Like you said, cutting it close. But despite getting the spike planted, it's not enough.
It's really not enough. The Hunter's Fury was really good. She got 2 kills off that. Almost took down Alexi as well. Alexi living with 1 HP though. Just cutting it really close here. There were 5 members of Bren still alive, but they made it count. They made it expensive. Ginny taking 2 down there. I think there was a 3rd one that they took as well. But right now, it's X10F that has to eco.
I mean, again, even with all the strategies in place, sometimes it still comes down to the gunfight, and you need to be able to defend when you have to. I think that was what Ginny's plan kind of hinged upon. Being so fluid, you really lose out in terms of numbers sometimes, and this is where Bren is starting to build up an advantage because they are starting to be ready for a lot of these plays. I mean, look at this crossfire outside of AMA.
Yeah, they haven't done this before. They're using a poison cloud to actually create space and ensure that they don't get bum rushed too fast, or at least punish them. It'd be 5 members, oh no, 4 members rather, still waiting on that A lobby. Alyssa though creeping up. She's kind of been the flanker for X10F. If she can find someone with a tour de force, then it opens things up for X10F. They're gonna play this. They're gonna use the overload here. Overdrive rather. Baby TZ is gonna take Shirazi down, and they're already funneling into the site. They take Mikasi down as well. Alexi is gonna take Baby TZ down. Ali is gonna get another kill of her own as well. Polly gets taken down, and Bren Victress stop the bleeding and take this round.
Just because of the utilities that they have, it's so oppressive. The poison cloud and everything. As soon as X10F streams into the site, I mean, just take a look at how Shirazi holds it down. Even with the overdrive, the damage was sustained, and it allows for players like Ali and Alexi to come back in to help out the team.
She's just able to really buy some time for teammates to rotate in, and that's just enough for Bren. Getting that 3rd round is really important because I think X10F, you will see a little bit more of their game plans here. Right now, there's just the gate crash coming on. I'm not sure if they'll use it as a fake, but if she teleports all the way to the back, I'm not sure if they see it right now. But if she can teleport, okay, it's actually at an angle where it's not crawling too far. If she can teleport there, it's actually dangerous because the KO is actually watching that corner. There's a flash coming out. There's a poison cloud actually blocking the vision from Ali. That's her teammate's poison cloud. Mikasi takes Polly down though. It's gonna be the fake as well. We're gonna look for Mikasi, who's actually in mid.
Okay.
Takes her down. Oh, Shirazi though peeks out, takes Baby TZ down as a revenge kill. Still the advantage for Victress. There's a spray through as well, through the smoke, takes Muffin down a bit low, but the gate crash is used. And right now they're actually in A. Muffin already made her way through the A site, already cutting it through. She might be able to find Ali, but Ali gets the flick onto her. Now down to a 2v4. It's not looking good for X10F.
Definitely not at all. I mean, just so much map control being taken by Bren because now they're feeling it, and they're going for a lot of these slightly more proactive plays. It's all down to Jin now, and she's already been spotted, so easy way to put the final nail in the coffin. Shirazi closes it off, and it's 4-2. Again, Mikasi pushing out of mid wooden doors, for example, allows for them to make such incredible plays.
It's just really so good for Bren Victress. I actually thought X10F would be able to run away with this map, but they just can't buy around after the first 2. This timeout is timely, but right now I don't think they'll be able to buy as well. So this, I'm not sure if their executes just aren't working, or because we keep seeing pickoffs, right? Like it's a bit off screen. We're looking at most of the members that are ready to execute, but someone gets picked off screen. Like it's Polly just dying randomly. It might be Baby TZ sometimes, just waiting for someone on the flank sides. They're not even executing just yet, but they get picked off already, and because of that, they're always at a disadvantage when they execute. So X10F, I want to see cleaner executes from them. I want to see more control, more tempo from them, because right now it just seems like they're getting picked off one by one.
You're right. It's some of these tiny moments whereby I believe X10F are trying to set something up. I mean, they picked the Yoru for a reason. They've got Baby TZ on Neon for a reason. But so many times, a lot of these plays don't really perform as well because they get picked off, because they get disrupted. There's a lot of potential for misdirection or even trap plays at times with such a composition. But unfortunately, they're not getting to perform, to execute them.
Yeah, it's really just not. Let's see what they can do on this thrifty round.
Wait, hit her head.
Yeah, they did. But Mikasi is going to use her ultimate. Not finding anyone just yet, though. She might want to... Oh, she's trying to breed. Trying to find the reason. There's the stun coming out. Stuns quite a few of them. Gets one down. Gets stunned herself. And Baby TZ is going to take her down. There's going to be the stun coming out again. Muffin takes Shirazi down. Alexi, though, is going to take Muffin as well. Ali is going to be there. Going to get taken down really low, but Alexi is there to save her teammate. Ginny is going to swing out. Finish off Ali. Only member left remaining. Only a Spectre to her name. And Alexi is going to seal the deal with a headshot onto Ginny.
Simple swings, and I'm just... It's not working out for X10. They tried to brute force the site, unfortunately, but despite finding some of these opening frags, I mean, they have to know that the site's already been reinforced at that point. So continuing to push on into it, they walk straight in towards the crosshairs of Alexi and Ali.
It's really just a lot of control from Bren, a lot of discipline, a lot of patience in winning these rounds, and it looks like Ascent looked like X10F's pick, and Breeze looks like Brent Victress's pick, so it's looking really strange for me right now.
I mean, they're trying something out. It's just, maybe they need a little bit of time before they actually find their footing with such a composition. But right now, aggressive plays trying to find a little bit of control, but they're getting blocked off as well. A lot of these sniper utilities are coming to play now.
Yeah, I think Baby TZ is on herself. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that there's a dart on her. She just takes Zinni down. There's a 100 Fury getting committed. Alyssa is going to take Mikasi down though, and they're not fully committing onto this side just yet. Bren though, they're killing everyone. Muffin is going to equalize things, so going to take Ali down as well. Teleports back to safety. That's the gate crash onto mid. They get the spike. They should know where Shirazi is. They should know that she's still on B.
Still though, they're trying to ignore her. Just making rotations all the way across the map. And in all this time, Shirazi is going to reposition as well. She's calling that the B side is clear.
30 seconds left.
But the other anomaly, Muffin. Oh, she's on the top of halls as well.
Yeah, Yoru is just such a... He's such a different agent. The teleport, being able to span various ranges, I think that's the biggest X factor to playing Yoru or playing against Yoru. You don't know what to expect where he teleports into or where he teleports from even. So now Shirazi has to place 1v2. She might be able to sneak up to one of them. I know, but Alyssa is gonna find her, finds the right timing, takes Shirazi down, and X10F are able to stop their bleeding.
Unfortunate timing, but of course, this is X10F starting to find their stride. And it's all because of this aggressive exchange inside of the B main site. Fast lanes out and just dashing in, but somehow Muffin left being unchecked coming in from the middle side allowed them to pick apart some of these defensive positions. And at the end of that, they had the numbers advantage.
Yeah, it's just really about the positioning and being able to get those frags, which X10F so desperately need. That Viper Spit is going to be committed onto A main. Oh, Mikasi gets caught using her fast lane. The Baby TZ is going to use fast lane off her own. Peeks out to take Shirazi down. That Viper Spit is going to get taken down as they use their own Viper Spit. Folly with a Viper Spit, the stun onto Ali is going to stop and slow down this defensive hold as well. That's going to be the door being open. 5v3 retake right now. They use the Owl Drone, but how much can they see? Zinni is going to take Muffin down. 3v4 right now, but there's a Viper Spit that is still even against. That dart, though, is going to find Baby TZ, so it's going to be a 3v3 right now. They're going to go try and enter the Viper Spit, but there's actually two members waiting outside. Polly, oh no! She gets spotted by the recon ball, and it's not looking good for X10F right now. They're going to have to get these kills, and they don't connect. Ginny, though, is going to get two down, but it's not enough as Ali is able to secure the round.
I mean, if there's any round that displays how much trust these Bren girls have inside of each other, it's gotta be this one. That's one heck of a way to take down the Viper Spin. I mean, take a look at it in the replay. If it does show, they surrounded it from different sides before pushing in together. And this is something that I was wondering about myself. Like, how did they get so coordinated? And asking Brent's coach, Evo, he's saying that's because they really trust each other that much, and they really do have each other's back in that final moment. Alexi getting taken out, doesn't matter. Teammates there to find the trade. And it's just so coordinated. 6-3 now. You really need numbers advantage if X10F are to take more attacking rounds.
Yeah, definitely need a bit more than what they're showing right now, and they get reset yet again because they won the round before the previous one. So because of that, they have to eco. I think Alyssa, yep, she does have the tour de force to use. So Zinni is gonna take Baby TZ down now. This is what Bren are so good at doing. Using the smokes and using the information. And Mikasi takes Alyssa down as well, so that's a tour de force gone. The spike is planted, but for how long? Doesn't really matter, as through the smoke, again, Mikasi takes Polly down. 2v5, they don't even have the guns, they only have sheriffs. The game crash is good to use. Doesn't really matter, she takes one down. Ginny cannot connect those shots because she was stunned, so Mikasi gets a 4K on this round.
It's so much trust in going for that active map control. Every time XNF tries to go for some kind of set play, it gets denied. Baby TZ going into overdrive, but unfortunately just getting sprayed through smokes because of the trap wires and tripwire, excuse me. And like you mentioned, the smokes being set up, it's really beautiful watching this unfold. I mean, Shirazi working in tandem with the rest of her team. X10F, there's a little bit of a pattern that, if you recall, the only times they actually won these rounds was when they actually made mid-round adaptations to rotate over, because they had numbers advantage in those scenarios.
Yeah, it's really the mid-round adaptations, but it looks like they're just not doing that properly on this map, which is strange to say. It's strange to think as well, because this is the map pick after all. There's a flash from the Yoru. They're not going to push out though, because they've been spotted by the knife. There's a fragment as well. So they're going to slow down a little bit here, but they know that someone's in that corner. They know Alexi just hiding there, but look at this. Mikasi, aggressive positioning, takes Alyssa down. There's a flanker down already. There's a flash coming in from the Yoru through the fake out, and they're already trying to make their way onto A, but all 5 members of Bren have already positioned and postured towards this A site.
I mean, you talked about peeling the onion earlier on, Marquis. I don't think this onion's going to get peeled. All of these layers are set up for the perfect defense. You take down one person, maybe, but someone else is going to come in to trade, and Hunter Sphere is going to have to be deployed just to give them a little bit more entry. Muffin's going to find a double, though, and now coming into it, Mikasi tries to swing things back into her favor with the overdrive, finds yet another, and now it's been refreshed. Going for the one behind now, she finds Muffin, and we're down to the 1v1. She gets the dance around because of the overdrive, and Ginny is at a loss. Goes back into reposition, but Mikasi is already in place, and it's going to be the ace to take it to 8-3.
That is such a heartbreaker for XNF, because they already took so many members down for Bren Victress, but Mikasi opening things up here with a first kill, and then XNF killed everyone except for Mikasi, and she just took everyone down. That was pretty much, that is 1v4. Wow. Clutch ace.
That is crazy. Oh my goodness. Just because she's been left unchecked so many rounds, she's been pushing out into middle. And XNF, they're not really playing so patient anymore. They're not pulling off any defaults or anything. And that's why sometimes they get punished in these spots. Whenever they commit into a site, they kind of just get denied because of that onion that's being set up. But this time around, finding the opening pick, that is something that's going to help out. Dashes right through, though. Finds Zinni. And now this is the site pendant over to XNF.
Yeah, they finally get an opening. Even though there was a 3-stack on B, didn't matter. They were able to open things up. And this might be the round that they need. They get the spike down already. They have the numbers advantage as well. 4v2. But can they hold? As Bren have looked so good on this map thus far. So right now they're using the utility to slow them down. They take one down. This might be the start of a great retake. That's gonna be a 1v2 though. Shirazi gets taken down, and X10F make it a 4-8 to enter the second half.
Numbers advantage. They find that first opening pick thanks to Baby TZ, and just like that, they start to stream in, overwhelming it, and that's what they really were looking for every single time. But unfortunately, sometimes just fully committing into it without much thought, that's when Bren really starts to tear them apart. So 8-4, now that they're swapping sides, I mean, what do you think is going to happen, Marquis?
I like both players' neons, but Mikasi seems like she's a little bit better at this point. Just today, just now, just at this moment, Mikasi is just tearing it up for Bren. I'm not sure if they can convert it the same way on attack though, because we saw on defense X10F did really well on Ascent against Bren. That was a previous map, and if they can replicate that here, I think they might be able to still catch up to Bren. 8-4, a little bit of a big lead for Bren. Not the 5-7 that was in the previous map, but I think that X10 still have it in them. This is their map pick after all, so they should be ready for this defenses, these defaults. For Bren, they look really good though. I'm still rooting for them. We'll see how far they can take this because right now they look very dominant.
It's a very interesting agent composition, and for both sides as well. And it's something that it's not very common. I mean, honestly, we don't really see these too much, and it leaves a lot to be thought about. When you have a Yoru plus a Neon on the defense, like, you get to push out, gain active bits of map control, possibly pulling off flanks as well, or maybe even just to get early aggression and then gate crashing back into a safer spot. A lot of things like that can be something that X10 could use to keep Bren on their toes. But at the same time, with the way that Bren plays, it's very secure. So I'm not entirely sure how it actually comes together when they face against each other.
I completely agree. It's just unstoppable force and immovable object, that kind of thing, right? I think X10F are a little bit better on the defense, and I would say Bren are typically a little bit better on the attacking side. So we'll have to see in the second half if X10F can retool a little bit. They've had a little bit of a break to kind of like discuss things through, but Alexi has been tearing it up, and as well as Mikasi for Bren. So they are gonna have to stop this force. Oh, Alexi basically, she's on a KO. She's not on her jet, but she's still fragging. She's that good.
And she's done it before, but again, I mean, I'm gonna have to put you on the spot, Marquis. I mean, thinking about it, Mikasi versus Baby TZ, and what's going on between the two of them?
I think that right now they're basically trying to see who can really make space for the team. But the biggest problem, the biggest difference maker here is the KO. KO shuts down Neon so much. Like, if you're trying to run and the blade
Viper
comes
too.
in, slows you down. They have Vipers in both sides, so I think the KO is a slight difference here. See, you suppress the Neon, and all of a sudden Baby TZ can't do running things, right? It's the biggest shutdown of duelists, I think. Alexi, especially Alexi, she's played duelists. She knows where the duelists like to hide, and that's one of the biggest things, biggest factors here. Alexi is definitely the X factor for Bren.
About being that sort of a flex pick, but at the same time, I mean, with the KO, you get to deny these toxic screens from getting set up, and it's kind of the thing that can help them out. Because on the other side, the only agent here that can defend and anchor is going to be the Chamber. Unfortunately, he's getting whiffed now because of the slides. It's gonna be up to Muffin to find a couple more. She does get it though, not before Zinni trades. And now, despite having the site, they are actually backing off, making quick rotations over onto A. Alexi, she's calling it clear.
Yeah, she heard the rotates and she's
lurking
already
too.
pushed up. Yeah, exactly. So if they're not ready for this, if they're not ready for 2, it might be dicey. XNF, you can see they don't have any
30
information.
seconds left.
They're leaving Ginny to actually take a look at B site and just holding there, while the rest of the team kind of like just waiting around on towards their spawn. Really, there's really just not much control that they have. There's a spike going down onto A, and right now they should know where they know where Alexi is right now. She's gonna flash out. She's gonna get stunned. That's gonna be Baby TZ dashing up. Ginny with a shock dart is able to take her down. And it's now down to a 3v2. They have ghosts. They have frenzies. It's gonna be a little bit difficult for Bren unless they actually get the headshot. Zinni wins the round for Bren.
Man, from 2 different spots. Again, it's just X10 looking a little bit less coordinated whenever they push together, despite the fact. A little bit of a shock dart, and then all of a sudden they just get confused. And again, Zinni landing those shots really helps out in Bren's victory. So now this is 9-4, Marquis.
Yeah, it's 9-4, and it's just absolutely ridiculous because Bren are poised
Oh my
to
God,
steal
Guardian?
the map pick. Okay, it's a Guardian for Zinni. That's a pretty aggressive buy, but with the way she's been playing, with the way she's been holding it, she deserves to buy that Guardian. But I think that mid isn't really the best place for this Guardian, because there's a shorty Right, and she's gonna get taken down as Baby TZ using that shorty immediately pays off in dividends. So right now there's 4 players. The spike does go down. They do have the Guardian as well. They can make plays here. They have the Sheriffs for the range too. Alexi's gonna take one down, and there's the Guardian at work. Baby TZ is able to take Mikasi down. There's the flash coming out as well. X10F still have the numbers advantage. They might not have the guns, but they do have the bodies. And if they can throw bodies into this, it might just work out for them. Ali takes one down though, but the Spectre's a little bit too fast and too furious for them as Bren Victress take the rest of X10F down.
And of course, Guardian now retrieved. Slight misnomer in pushing the Guardian through the middle, right in towards an off angle, but of course, again, it comes down to X10F and their retakes, going for these one-on-one duels where they kind of just lose out to the overwhelming teamwork of Bren Victress.
It's really just overwhelming. It's just too much for them. And X10F, they can't buy any space. But right now they have the rifles, so let's see if they can actually buy around here. Because 10-4 is a little bit of a insurmountable lead typically. But this is their map pick after all. I have not really seen the value of this Yoru. Alyssa takes Zinni down though. This is what they need. They've been losing members left and right. I feel like Bren has taken almost all of the first bloods. But X10F are finally finding those kills. Gets 2 kills. Gate crashes away as well. Tries to get the thing through the wall. Oh no, runs out of bullets. But Alyssa is going to be there to take Mikasi down. It's all down to Ali right now. Polly whips her shot. No! She drew an outline around Ali, and somehow the force was with her. She was able to deflect all of those bullets. Now down to a 2v1, but it does not look very good even for X10F. They're low.
Yeah, it comes down to coordination. They have to push together. Unfortunately, one by one, Muffin will be the first to fall. And now Recon Bolt, she gets extra info. Goes ring around the Rosie. Headshot. It's Ali with the quadruple kill and the 1v2 clutch. 11-4. Yeah, I feel the map 3 coming up, Marquis.
It's pretty much a given at this point, right? Like, their economy is broken. They had such a good start here, but they just can't close it out, and that's one of the biggest problems here. Polly whiffing here. How many bullets did she shoot? She only lands 1. A little bit of a panic, a little bit of a scuffle, and Alyssa here losing the duel to Ali. Same name, same namesake, but unfortunately, Ali was the superior one. And this is the advantage of fresh hands. Ali did not play the previous map, but look at her. She's full of energy, she's full of that aim. She's ready for this. And it's gonna be a fast execute for Bren Victress, but Muffin is gonna take one down. Uses the ultimate, almost paid for it with her life, but Alexi is gonna take 2 down. There's an ultimate being used as well, going to shut them down a little bit. Polly is gonna get 1 kill, gets a second as well.
Whoa.
It might look good for X10F if they can land more, but Zinni says no, not today. She's very sharp right now, and she's gonna take Polly down, and it's gonna be match point for Bren Victress.
Still long-range duels. The Vandal will almost always prevail. Sheriff, even at a certain range, there is that bit of damage fall-off. So coming down to this now, Bren, they know they have the advantage. They don't have to over-aggress, which is why they're hanging back and just looking for a lot of these aim duels where basically X10F are kind of forced to peek out against them. Even with the dimensional drift, it's only going to keep Muffin alive for so long. So 12-4 now. I don't know about you, Marquis, but I don't see a comeback happening.
No, I don't see it either, but I'm not gonna discount it. They're still a good team, but I think that they haven't figured it out just yet. And I think that map 3 is way more than likely. There's gonna be the knife. Not gonna touch anyone. They're trying to hold this as hard as they can. It's 12-4, 8 rounds that need to close out. Not sure if they have it in them, but it looks like Bren Victress, they want to take their time. They want to ensure that they win this round. They're taking it slow.
Very, very slow. Steady. Controlled. They broke the knife, so that denies a little bit of utility suppression, forcing Bren to find another approach to the site now. So heading back in towards middle comes down to Ginny and how she actually plays around this spot. If she loses her head, that could be a big difference.
See if they can actually make it happen here.
Oh, baby.
There's 40 rotations. Yeah, for X10F. slow rotations, but they're already trying to find more room, and they know that's going to be VX, but Zinni is going to take one down, so it doesn't matter. There's a Hunter's Fury. Polly is able to take one down, but the Hunter's Fury takes her down. Going to be a 30 seconds left, and the plant might go down soon. They're trying to get the spike on to the site, so they give it to Mikazi, who can dash into the site, gets the spike down, and they're going to play this 4v3. X10F. Ooh. They're trying to hold. Baby TZ gets one kill, but Mikasi is going to trade her. Ali is going to take Alyssa down, and it's not looking good right now as Ginny, last person remaining. She's going to take Mikasi down, but it doesn't matter as Bren Victress close down this game.
Trades on top of trades, and that is the Bren Victress story, the ultimate teamwork. And let's just trust that they have in each other. If someone falls, Mikasi falls, that's okay. Someone else is there to back her up, and even coming down to it, someone like Ginny not going to be able to shoot down 3 separate targets. So, I mean, that was a pretty, I hate to say it, but fast breeze map. It breezed on by, like you said before.
It was pretty one-sided, and not to the side that I was expecting it to be. Because I actually thought X10F was really going to take that map. I thought X10F was going to take this series after map number 1. But Bren Victress are here to play, and you can see that they are on point. They're ready for this. Of course, our MVP is Alexi, really shutting down X10F. Great use of the knives, getting a lot of kills as well. So it's not just utility that she's been using, but also getting those kills. Meanwhile, on the side of X10F, Baby TZ had a pretty good game, but the rest of the team, not really so much. They were struggling a little bit to find and hold specific sides of the map, and I think that was the biggest problem here. Bren Victress always won the typically opening picks, and they just could not shut down Alexi. 3.6 KDA on that KO.
Yeah, certainly a little bit. I mean, if you want to talk about kill deaths, Ali with the 4.1 is a pretty big whopping number, but again, it comes down to X10F really not being able to chain a good win streak on the first half. They just weren't able to crack that code. So despite this being their map pick, despite them trying interesting things out with the Yoru, they weren't really able to secure a big, strong lead over Bren Victress, and this it certainly is a pretty big question mark to me, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, it's just I really don't know what's going on for them, and I think that on the next map we'll really have to see which team reigns supreme, because both teams have stolen each other's map picks. And I'm not really sure who to rank as the better team right now, because it's really not very clear to me.
It truly isn't. I mean, you've got a team that just loves to play for that really tactical and team-heavy approach, which is Bren, playing and trading off of each other in those, even in those final moments. Then you also have X10, who has that potential to really play in this really fluid style to keep you guessing, keep you on your toes. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see too much of that on Breeze. Maybe simply because Bren were able to read and snuff that out just by taking them down before they even got the opportunity to make some of these questionable plays happen. But what happens once you go onto a map like Haven when you have 3 spike sites?
It might be different. It might just favor the team that can adjust, right? The fluidity is actually a key to Haven. It's something that we saw Aldrigus do, but it really depends, because Bren, they're sharp right now. They might not have the same fluidity, but they do have the teamwork and they have the aim.
And that is something that really gives them a big advantage. The aim right now, it helps them win some of these rounds that you just might think is unwinnable as well. And we definitely saw some displays of it on Breeze. And of course, just really the teamwork again. Even though Mikasi fell, Alexi's there to trade. So back towards Haven now, our next map. This rematch between the two teams. Again, in Open 2, it was Bren that knocked X10 out at the tournament. What's going to happen? Who's going to get sent to the lower bracket this time? What do you think, Marquis?
There's no favorite team for me between these two, but I think that if you're going to Haven, I think X10F are going to take the map. I just feel like their fluidity and the way they play is a little bit more in favor for them. So we'll have to see, because we're going to go to a quick break first before we go into map number 3. We'll be right back. Don't touch the browser.
Man, Breeze might have breezed on by because of Bren's victory, but I don't know about the next map because this just might be X10's Haven. We are your casters. Hey, I'm Quack. This is Marquee, and of course, VCT Game Changers APAC Open number 3, upper bracket finals. So it's not the worst thing in the world, but of course, you still want to win as much as you can. I'm not quite sure how Bren's going to be able to do it, though. What do you think, Marquee?
Well, Bren have not played Haven in Open 3, so that's the thing. Might be their ban. They haven't played Fracture either, but basically, if you take a look here, Bren wanted to ban Icebox instead. They probably know that they're gonna get Haven, so they knew what they were doing. Bren liked banning Fracture first. Haven typically not something that they play.
Yeah.
X10F though, they played Haven thrice, 2-1 record, so it's not exactly like a that's strong. So we'll really have to see between these two teams who has the stamina still, especially to go all the way to 3 games.
It might come down to that bit of stamina game, but I also think if Bren really wants to stand a chance at winning in this map, they really need to step up on the adaptations. I mean, so far they did a very good job at kind of stifling and throwing wrenches into plans on Breeze. That works out, but I don't know how it's going to work on Haven because you got 3 sites. Yes, they can push out a lot, but at the same time, X10 can be that team to be that fluid. So it's going to be a little bit of a toss-up for me, but just because of experience, X10 probably knows this map a little bit better. But then again, they're trying different things. Hovering over Neon again. Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the Neon will come out here, but
Aha.
it looks like Muffin will be on the Jet, while Mikazi will be on her signature Raze. So that's gonna be the difference here. Looks like it's gonna be Omen for controllers for both sides, but there's gonna be a difference in Sentinels as well. Baby TZ on the Cypher. I'm surprised we're not seeing Chambers here really, because I want to see Baby TZ on Chamber.
Certainly, but again, perhaps just going for a different approach. This X10 composition just takes me back to the old style of Valorant, like in the first year, without all of these newer agents. It's something that Ginny's played before, and they're very used to it. Maybe it's more of comfort picks, but at the same time, on the other side now, that's the question that they have to face. How do they play against a team that might have a little bit more potential in terms of retakes? Remember the Killjoy, you got the lockdowns. It's gonna be tough. I really have no idea what to predict here.
Yeah, I'm not sure who's gonna win either, but the Cypher might not be better than Killjoy in terms of retaking or taking, but he's a little bit better in terms of being able to hold the flanks slightly. I wouldn't say 100%, but slightly better. So that's the biggest difference here. On Haven, we really see a lot of teams dissect. Even on defense, they actually push out and take map control because there's 3 sites. The fact that there's 3 sites doesn't just mean there's 3 sites for attackers to push, but there's also 3 sites, or actually 5 ways for the defenders to push out from. It's from mid, it's from garage, it's from A short, A long, or C. So there's so many ways for defenders to find information and really go for aggressive plays as well. So that's something to watch out for.
It's a lot of these different areas, but I do have to say that the map is laid out a little bit differently as opposed to Breeze. On Breeze, yeah, you might have these different spots as well, maybe 2 sites, but mid wooden doors, for example, it's a little bit of an off angle if you're pushing out and towards bottom mid. And different layouts like that means that you're not going for that straight aim duel every time. On the other hand, for something like Haven, every single time as a defender, if you peek out and someone's on the other side, it's very likely that you're going to meet them face to face. So it comes down to that this very delicate dance of being careful when you want to peek out. And something that we see from other teams, such as Orangutan versus Alter Ego Celeste, like earlier on, for example, whenever they push out, they tend to do it as a team. So that's something that I'm looking for right now. But of course, coming down to this now, Bren, upper bracket finals. They're starting off on the defensive side. I still want to keep my eye on that Mikasi versus Muffin duelist combo.
Yeah, let's see which duelist reigns supreme, because Jet isn't an insta-lock on Haven, I'd say. I mean, a lot of teams pick it, but I don't think that it's necessary on Haven. Raze works pretty well here as well. Arena has fallen out of favor here in VCT Game Changers APAC. We used to see a lot of it as a secondary duelist, but it seems like all the teams have been improving and adjusting their lineups to actually incorporate double initiators, like we see on both sides here. Sometimes double controllers, and a little bit rarer now with double duelists.
Yeah, certainly. Reyna pick rates have gone down. Ray's maybe actually a little bit higher. It's just the difference in utilities because Reyna has a lot more feast or famine, but at the same time, double initiators, you get so much more utility, info, or maybe even just stuns. The fact that we have 2 breaches right now, I feel, is going to be something that's pretty effective at possibly controlling quite a bit of space, initiating fights with the fault line, for example. So X10F, they might just have a little bit more freedom in terms of going for set plays.
Yeah, the set plays and really being able to take control over the map. That's the biggest thing about Haven, map control, and being able to take map control is just feels very difficult, which is why when you play on Haven and you try to retake, it just seems so difficult. There's a stun coming on. It looks like it's going to be a B execute for X10F. What the?
They just walked right in. Nobody stopped them. You checked on the door. It wasn't locked, so you come in and you make it your home. And now Goldilocks is here to play. X10F, they're getting the spike down, and oh, well, not yet. Site's not entirely clear. They're checking their backs, but here comes Mikasi.
Spike planted.
Flash comes out as well. Lexi goes in for double right clicks. What? Oh my god! And all that's left is Ginny. She's not quite sure where to look because both sides, 2 players. It's gonna be Alexi with the quad on round 1. Marquis, what?
There was a flick from Mikasi. It was a 90-degree hospital flick onto Baby TZ, who was watching the flank. But Mikasi was able to take her down, and I think that's the biggest difference here. That flank suddenly just opened things up. Muffin getting a first kill, great, but look at Mikasi here. Gets the flick onto Baby TZ, and because of that, Alexi was just able to make it rain. That's right click. That's a classic. It's just really, that's a classic.
That's a classic.
Unfortunately for them, Alexi is not showing signs of slowing down because she was the MVP of the previous map, and right now she's already starting off strong with 4 kills.
Alexi she's really something. One of the players that has improved so much, right, Marquis? She's the previous year, you know, we're talking about Ginny a lot. Now Alexi just comes in and turns this entire system around for her own. Same thing again though. Mikasi comes out of garage and she takes down 2. Muffin did get 1 as well, though, so now you kind of want to be careful about holding down the sides. They're still not stopping, however, and this means that Ginny is the only one left coming in from A-Link. She's getting shot down, but at the same time, she takes down 1 along with her. Shirazi to finish things off, but this was a pretty costly round, if I do say so myself, right?
Yeah, extremely costly, and in fact, I don't think Bren should be buying. They thought about it for a while, but they lost 4 members. And because they lost 4 members, it's going to be a little bit difficult to convert this bonus round, as we've seen them do here and there. They're very good at converting the bonus, typically. But on pistols, highly doubted.
Yeah, it's definitely difficult. With the pace at which X10F are playing. I mean, those were the first 2 rounds, so they're just running straight into B, sure. But now, you got rifles, you want to think twice. You don't want to drop those too quickly, and now just walking right into it, you eat a boombot to the face. Muffin, slow it down a little. She still gets the double, though. Doesn't matter. Baby TZ there to find another as well. Tailwind's on the site. Drives back just to find Allie, and all of a sudden, Zinni's the only one left. What just happened, Marquis?
Spike planted.
Just a little bit too fast, and X10F, if they don't lose anyone on this round, that'll be extremely amazing for them because they can keep the momentum going. They just executed everyone. It looked like Bren had a great read, but they just couldn't convert the kills. They did a lot of damage though. Everyone has been chipped. Everyone's armor has been damaged a bit, so they have to buy up to that. But Zinni has to play this 5v1 with only a sheriff in her hands. And it looks like she's gonna be spotted. Not gonna get any headshot though, as Alyssa is gonna take Zinni down.
Had the right idea though, I must say, right, Marquis? I mean, like,
for sure.
With the sheriff, yeah, you kind of want to watch for those angles rather than just push out really confident and aggressively. But unfortunately, it's also too many players, and I mean, that's the aggression at which the X10F can afford to pull off because they have something like Muffin along with a Breach, for example.
Yeah, that's really for sure. And when Victress, they have the opportunity to turn things around though. They do have the Rolling Thunder on Alexi because she's just been lighting up the scoreboard, and because of that, she's been able to rack up those ultimate points. And using that for retake might prove prudent. The flash though into the kill takes Mikasi down. Great opening for X10F. They're trying to get onto the C site right now. It's gonna be a shrouded step for Polly into her own teammate Shockstar, but it doesn't matter. They're gonna be able to get the spike down. He thought it was an enemy. Immediately flicks onto her own teammate, but the rest of Bren, they're already here. They're already
Spike
towards
planted.
Garage. They're trying to mount for this retake, but they're gonna have to clear these people waiting in the corners. They're gonna have to clear the corner that Baby TZ is hiding in. She takes Shirazi down first. That's gonna be a headshot for her. That's gonna be the Rolling Thunder being committed as well.
Big value. They are definitely stunned, but they need to go in quick, so they will be able to find two for the time being. But Alyssa's still alive. Muffin as well, holding it down from the crate alone. She gets the double and denies that retake from Bren, despite the Rolling Thunder being committed.
Yeah, and I thought the Rolling Thunder would be the key or the difference maker in that round, but it just really wasn't enough for X10F. For Bren rather. X10F were just a little bit too strong and too fast in that execute. They got the Rolling Thunder, but Bren needed to go a little bit faster there. Muffin was able to get out of that stun, get out of that daze, and she expected the breach to come in from Garage.
Yeah, I think they didn't really know where Muffin was positioned as well, and somehow she wasn't really affected by the Rolling Thunder.
She got stunned.
She got stunned, but it recovered really quickly as well. So, I mean, that's the thing about Rolling Thunder. You have to follow through quickly. And here it comes. Speaking of quick, it's going to be Muffin once more again, creating so much space for the team. They already have the A site.
And getting that site pretty much for free. Oh, another free kill as well. Ginny is able to
Yikes.
find Mikasi in midair, just defenseless off of that satchel. And 5v3 right now. Not much they can do with these guns. They've already have the angles covered. The Marshal is not even gonna find any hit at all. They're just slowly trying to see if they can at least get some money back for their guns, but it just does not look good. The smoke is gonna discourage her from peeking as well. She's gonna have to jump down before she can actually do any damage. Alexi is just waiting for exit frags as well, and it looks like, ooh, she's not gonna find anything at all. The last two members of Bren, though, they're gonna have to die to the spike anyway because they want to save. They want those 1,000 creds. It's not worth saving.
remaining.
Yeah.
Yeah, no saving that frenzy, no saving that Marshal.
Sometimes you see it happen though, but I definitely don't want to be saving budget weapons. And it's just this speed at which X10F are playing at right now. So this is something that you really do have to work around against. It's time for Bren to stop for a second and just think, all right, this is how X10F has been playing so far. How do we adapt to that? Fast site takes? Maybe we try retakes instead?
Might be. They did try to retake with the Rolling Thunder. It didn't really work out so well for them. So I think they might need to actually hold the site or commit a little bit more to some sites and play for retake. This is kind of like a mix of both. Like maybe you hold A and have some retakes, but it looks like they're gonna give A up because Rolling Thunder has been committed for X10F. They're already into the site. They've already taken control.
Yeah, it's just so fast still though. It definitely is that retake plan. 5v5s and Mikasi, she has her showstopper. That could be one way to initiate a fight. She's thinking about it. She's coming in from heaven, pops the showstopper, and all of a sudden now X10F, every single one of them are red alert. She will be able to find one, and here comes the trade. Baby TZ though still alive, and all of a sudden people are dropping like flies. They are stuck by this choke point up around A link. And Ali, the last one left alive, now blocked off by the dark cover. Oh, that's to us to heaven, but still walking out onto it. It's just an entire trap room of crossfires. Impossible to walk through. 2 to 4, and X10F, they're looking unstoppable.
They look very good right now. Like after those 2 rounds, it seemed like they turned the gear up yet another notch. They're just playing it so fast. A little bit too fast for Bren Victress. And okay, there's a timeout coming in. This is what I was gonna say, like they can't figure out the tempo right now, so they kind of need to reconvene and figure out how to stop X10Crit's onslaught, because they just get into his sight and then suddenly there's no control from Bren Victress and the retakes are just not working.
I mean, I definitely hear you, Marquis, right? Like, it's they don't really have enough control to start such a retake, and every time they try to, especially on a site like A, it gets stopped, it gets denied. Whatever ultimates they deploy, it's not working out. And I'm just trying to think, how else can they actually retake, though? I mean, do they start to send players down on bits of flanks? Because they haven't really gone for that active map control yet. On the other hand, if you take a look at Ultimate Economy, this is a pretty oppressive state, because you've got 4 ultimates on the side of X10F.
Yeah, it's just the ultimates, the guns, the everything, really. Like they have the ults, they have the guns. What does Bren Victress have? They have nothing right now. They do have an A stack. Let's see if this A stack works out, because the X10F have been going A the last 2 rounds. This is going to be the 3rd round in a row for them. If they can actually get these kills, Zinni gets taken down, Shawzy gets taken down. They even check their corners. There's a dash, there's a trade as well, and they survive with no casualties, just a little bit of damage, but they checked the corners. They expected
Spike
this.
planted.
That's team play if I've ever seen it, you know? Go in for a quick peek, instantly tailwind away, your teammate follows through to get the kill. And now, too, on the other side of Bren, coming in from the same choke point that they lost to, you're starting to get a little bit of PTSD, because I don't know, even with the lockdown, they have a Hunter's Fury. You're not going to use it this round, of course, but it's just so daunting. Goes out for a quick peek, able to take down Muffin, but there is Baby TZ for the quick response. She takes out 2. Now X10F starting to build up that lead.
Yeah, lead slowly building up, and it just
Right there.
it looked like it was a closer game initially. It went 2-0, then 2-2, and then X10F wins 3 in a row.
Right there.
Bren still have enough to buy. They ecoed the previous round, so they might be able to make this work this time around, but I don't really see any innovative shuffles from them, or we'll have to see how they execute this round. It looks like they're gonna go for a trade on A long, but I'm not sure if that's enough. I'm not sure if they can even win the fight.
They did have the time out, though. I'm not quite sure what was discussed during it, but it hasn't really paid off yet. And right now, stacking up on these past 2 rounds have been A hits, but now all of a sudden, quick adaptations over onto C. They weren't prepared for this. Alexi instantly taken out.
She even flicked downwards for that, Baby TZ. She saw the shadow, she traced her
Spike planted.
behind that box and was able to get the kill onto Alexi through boxes alone.
Impressive. Every single minor bit of information helps. And right now, if we're talking about information, on the flip side, Bren has got none. Sure, they know some of them are on the APC side itself, but which exact position they don't really know. Hunter's Fury just to push them off. It actually tags a couple. Atlee pushes up front. But here comes Zinni with the trade, and Baby TZ going down as well, but
There they are.
they don't have any more time, I don't think. Just about 15 seconds, and they are starting to stick onto it. Unfortunately, though, Makazi was not able to take down Alyssa, so the 1v2 clutch. And Alyssa pushes her team even further forward.
I think that's the thing here, right? Even further forward. There's some momentum going. Like I know some people don't like this. I don't think there's real momentum-based teams, but everyone has sort of momentum. It's whether you're feeling it or not. It's kind of like a flow state. You can see Alyssa. That was clean from her. 1v2. She was in that flow state, able to secure, lock down the round for X10F, and they're already at 6 points.
It's just, they're kind of feeling it. And every single round, every single site they go towards, they are able to take it down. This time, however, Alexi going for a little bit more proactive plays. She's able to take out 1. And they're quickly rotating over as well. Makazi! Ooh! Big hit! And she takes down the spike carrier. Wants to go for even more. Tags it down. She gets the double. Team is here to back her up. They've gotten some rifles. This is what they were looking for.
That's exactly what they needed. This thrifty round. And being able to convert this totally unexpected, but it was off of aggressive pushes. And this is what I was thinking that they should be doing. Don't expect X10 to come in, surprise them.
Big surprise. I mean, they thought that they had the round for so long. I mean, just getting their way, rushing onto sites, taking the spike. But when Bren suddenly decides to switch things up, you have to think twice now. So I'm curious to see how X10F continues to play in this round.
Yeah, they actually broke formation there because of that first kill. They did not expect Mikasi to be pushed up that close. And because of that, they just sealed around the wave. Alexi trying to hold it a little bit again. Ali is going to take Muffin down, and Alexi is going to be able to swing forward. There's a Hunter Sphere getting used. Rolling Thunder as well as a counter from Ginny, but Alexi is already pushed up. It's all down to 3 players. 3v5 right now. They're just not finding the kills. Paranoia comes out, but Ali is also on the A side as well. They're not ready for this. They're getting sandwiched, they're getting pincered. Alyssa takes one, but Paulie is taken down, and Alyssa is all alone as Alexi swings out forward and makes it a 4-6.
I mean, how many kills did she get in that round? Was it a double or a triple? But just by pushing out alone, and of course the Hunter Fury from a teammate as well, they were able to take up so much and to block off X10F. They were effectively trapped inside of sewers. And all of these fast hits, they're not going to be that effective anymore. The comeback is starting to happen. X10F calling the timeout because they need a quick fix.
They definitely need a fix for this because they had a dominant 4-round string, and then all of a sudden Bren wins the next 2 rounds in a row. So they're having a difficult time figuring out this defense even after dominating for a few rounds. They still have the economy though, not to count them out just yet, but it's just so weird that Bren finally discovers how to beat you guys, and then all of a sudden you're lost for strategies. You're like, what do we do? Like, where do we go? Bren has figured out how to stop us or how to slow us down, and right now our current strats are not working.
I mean, I think they could just attempt to change things up in terms of pace, maybe pull off a little bit of a default or push into a site that hasn't really been covered before, like B, for example. But at the same time, I mean, one of the reasons why this works out so well for Bren is because Haven is a map with such small sectors that they really enjoy playing around with all these tiny corners and spaces with Alexi pushing out, and it really starts things off for Bren. Now 2 more rounds to equalize, and they are looking for even more. Look at how Alexi's pushing down middle.
It's already pushed down, and
oh, default though.
Yeah, they changed their minds. It looks like X10F just wanted to go for default instead. Same for Bren. They pushed out a little bit, but then went back in. Not
Just
sure.
an early sensing and to reset the game state, but now a push coming down C long, Marquis.
Yeah, it's a C long push, but there's a tripwire there, so they'll know there's a flank.
Info.
Yeah, just a little bit of information. This is the best part about Cypher. So you know she's in that area, but you also have another trapwire, so you know when she's ready to actually complete the flank. Right now, it's just
that means
just a little bit of a wait.
It comes down to Ali and whether or not she can actually hold down sight. In fact, she actually just backs off because she has the lockdown, thinking of setting up for retakes. Or at the very least, using this to push them off of sight. The spike, unfortunately, however, goes down. Now they have to make a quick move. Lockdown was destroyed as well. ABTZ on the lurk takes out Zinni. Now it's the same old problem. Will Bren actually be able to retake now for the first time in a long while? The Rolling Thunder gets sent down and allows for Ali to find the first one. Now dropping down into Hortel. They find the second and then the third. Paulie comes back in from sewer to strike though, and it's down to the 1v1.
All down to Alexi versus Paulie. Alexi, oh, great flash from her, but she flashed herself. She did not expect that corner to actually flash her as Paulie gets the headshot, gets the kill onto Alexi.
The self-flash, so unfortunate, and at the same time, just Paulie playing it so safe and secure, hiding inside the one corner, and coming out at the right time. It's a little bit unfortunate. They made it so close, but unfortunately, this still means it's a 4-7, and now, last round of the first half, will Bren be able to find that 5?
Oh, you hate to see it, because guns, They have okay guns. They're able to full buy, but X10F are really just a different beast right now. So, Bren, Victress, they want to win this round. They want to go into the second half of this map, 5-7 for sure. But Alexi opens things up, takes Muffin down.
Talking about a different beast, we've got Alexi just walking up front to assert dominance, and all of a sudden X10F are retreating back, cowering in position, rethinking about their decision. Do we want to go back in towards A?
Yeah, they don't really have that many ultimates either. They can use the neural stuff, but that requires getting a kill first. So let's see if they can kill someone here and be able to snowball this, because right now they need to win their aim duels, or at the very least be able to use Polly's utility to really get into the site.
They're just walking right in. Shrouded Steps as well. Unfortunately, Shirazi was not able to push them back or even anchor it down. Neuro Theft now, so they know where the Bren players are. They're all on the other side. So nobody's really looking out to watch for sewers or long. They know that these choke points are all that's left. Oh, showstopper too.
Wonderful kill.
Don't even need a showstopper as the paint shells actually get the first kill. There's gonna be the double satchel into the showstopper, but she gets taken down by Baby Teasy in midair.
Last player standing.
Not enough time to pull out that gun. Baby Teasy with a triple, on pace to get this ace as well, but Ali is gonna put a stop to that.
Thankfully for teammates, Zinni and Ali just coming out to help them out even more. Makasi, despite getting swatted down, Bren were able to take it back 5-7, and this puts them in a slightly better position for the next half.
It's definitely better than what we were originally seeing. It was a 2-6, if I'm not mistaken, at some point, and 2-6 just looked pretty difficult. But we're now back to a 7-5. Bren was able to reel it back in, and now they're the ones going to the attacking side, which I would argue is the better side on Haven.
It's for the first time in a while they've actually figured out how to retake against X10. Now that they're swapping sides, I mean, surely they get to explore some of these different options and force X10 to even try to play their game. But I'm honestly not entirely sure how this is going to play out, though, because you're going up against a pretty strong anchor team. I mean, one of the reasons why Bren was not so well suited or so strong at retaking sites or maybe even defending is because they didn't really have a strong anchor. You know, at times we would see players like Shirazi, Ali often just backing off. They didn't make the most out of their utility. They weren't able to slow down the advances of X10. How does that play against on the other side now? That's a big question mark in my head.
Yeah, same. I really don't know what the Cypher pick is for. I'm not 100% convinced still, but I think the slight lead that they have seems to show that it's kind of relatively working, but I'm not so sure, because Bren, we've seen them suddenly just turn it up to the next gear. Both teams can do that, and I'm not sure which team is going to turn it up to the next gear, because right now it's still pretty close. I mean, if it were, this is virtually 7-5 is virtually a 6-6. My math is bad, but virtually yes.
It's a little bit of a flip side, because I think starting out on attack for X10F, this is where Cypher comes into play, because you have that lurk potential. The tripwires, you don't have to be near those for them to be active, right? She can just place them, and we do see her lurking a lot of times around the window. On the other hand, though, something like a Killjoy is probably a little bit more useful or effective at anchoring down and defending sites, because turret tagging slows down players, and at the same time, you've got the alarm bot, you've got nano swarms that can deal damage. Those, in contrast to Cypher's info gathering abilities, is slightly different. But when you pair such an agent up with a player like Baby TZ, I mean, we've seen how sharp she can be. Not to downplay Ali at all, but Baby TZ is someone who can make the most out of an agent like Cypher, I think.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's just that the smokes are a little bit less oppressive now compared to, let's say, the Killjoy Nano Swarm. It's like you mentioned, that's why you don't see Cypher so often anymore, because he just, as an agent, is really just falling out of favor. And I would really have to love to to see a baby TZ on the chamber instead as we open things up with 2 quick kills, but Ali is going to be able to take Polly down. Ginny is going to be there as well. The aggressive pushes from the defending side here, from the side of X10F.
It's waves upon waves of just people pushing out all of a sudden, and if you're Bren, do you watch those angles? Do you defend? You're not entirely sure because they're coming out of garage as well as the middle. You're not entirely sure now, and now that the dust has settled, you're inside of garage, you're cold, you're alone, you only have your teammate there to back you up, and you have to do this side by side as they walk slowly in towards C. Alyssa is already looking down this angle. Oh, but the crouch headshot! Oh, Alexi! What a quick play! Unfortunately, is it going to be enough, though? She might have the spike, but she can't really get it planted. Shirazi now stunned by Ginny, crouching back and forth again, but she's down to 40 HP and overwhelmed from all of these different angles. She gets baked up by Muffin. It's going to be 5-8. X10F winning the pistol yet again.
Just these pistol rounds count for a lot. Like, I actually think that this pistol round just means that X10F are really going to build up their lead. 7-5, winning the pistol round 8-5, winning the next round as well. 9-5, then it just starts to become less manageable for Bren. Not to mention as well, X10F, they're on the defending side. You expect the attackers to kind of win the round. Bren did win the pistol on defense as well, though, so that's a little bit of a difference as well.
Cover going out.
So now, how do we make it into another manageable thing? It's Bren having to think twice about how they want to approach this one, because despite being on pistols, you want to make it as painful as possible for X10F, but they're just hiding for now. X10F not giving up anything, though.
They're definitely not giving up anything at all, and they're just standing strong. Like, this is such disciplined play from them, because if they push forward and lose a gun, then it starts becoming dicey. But 5 Spectres in their hands, they can still hold this. So they have a little bit of an idea. There's a stun coming out, but I think they'll be happy to play retakes on B. She was stunned, but she still peeked out. Muffin just doesn't really care about those stuns. The plant is not going down. Okay, now it's going down. The rest of X10F, they're making their way in. There's the smokes coming out. There's the first kill. There's Paranoia, rather. There's a second kill as well, and they're just gonna clean up shop. There's only one member remaining. They don't know where she is, but it doesn't matter. They finally find her. It's gonna be a flawless second round for X10F.
We just even looking at how Muffin was looking all over the place, trying to find heads to flick onto. Not before finally spotting Zinni. And only just doing a little bit of chip damage. Alyssa's the one who finishes it off. It's 5-9, and you can tell how much X10F wants this, because despite the early first round aggression in the second half when they were on pistols, this round they were a complete opposite, and it's something that Bren were, I think, just completely dazed by. So it's giving them this bigger lead, and now that there is this full buy, can't wait to see how X10F plays it. They're pushing up front and making use of the cloud burst to close in on the distance, and Muffin unfortunately not able to capitalize on it. It's gonna be Alyssa that finds one, but not before getting straight. A 2-for-1, and Bren are looking to run down this A site.
Immediately running into the site to protect Ginny, who does not do that much damage, but Polly is gonna be there, takes Rossi down. Oh, they might make it expensive. Baby TZ is gonna get a kill as well. Down to a 2v1 right now. It's all down to Ali. This is a bonus round for them, but they're making it work somehow. A little bit of a crossfire for them right now. Are they gonna peek? Or will Ali try to find her first? They're waiting for contact before starting. And Ali has no clue where any of them are.
One enemy or
There's the first peek. There's the headshot. And Polly on contact. Swings out. Gets the kill. Converts the bonus. And it's looking really scary for Bren right now.
Man, contact plays. X10F are starting to string things together, now playing together as a squad. They win the bonus all because they had players pushing out from B-Link. Or, I mean, A-Link. It's just so unsuspecting for Bren that I don't think they were prepared for this. It's not looking too good. You're looking at a very possible 11-5. I mean, this is upper bracket finals. Sure, you can afford it, but it certainly does not feel good.
Not at all. And they're just running in guns blazing for Bren. A little bit of confidence here, a little bit of nothing to lose attitude because they have pistols. They can just run in. It looks like they're easy. Oh my god, a firing squad. Polly is going to be there to support her as well, but Alexi with a headshot. Polly though is still alive. Takes Ali down. It's all down to Alexi, the hero of Bren thus far. She's going to crab walk, crouch walk, but Polly is ready for that. She was also crouching and immediately takes Alexi's scalp out.
Crab walking. And unfortunately, just kind of unlucky, making herself a little bit of an easy target, despite the crosshair placement. It's a nice little micro flick by Polly towards the end.
One enemy remaining.
A little bit of a last-ditch effort, if I'm being honest, from Bren to just push down C Long in that sense. So the timeout being called now because they are in danger of going to match point.
Yeah, definitely massive danger for them because they are 6 rounds down. Their economy pretty good for a buy still. They have 1 ultimate, but they have to make this round count. Especially since it's their buy round. If they don't make this round count and X10F win, they're gonna have a broken buy next round. So that's the scary thing about this. I think only 2 of them will be able to full buy next round if they lose. But Brent, like, that's such a crappy spot to be in. You don't want to be match point without the guns to even fight for that match point. So Bren Victress, they might need to use this Rolling Thunder this round to ensure victory. They might need to find a way to really get into the site, take them down, because right now it looks like X10F, like you mentioned, they're the ones playing like a team. They're the ones with the trades. They're the ones with the support from the teammates. They're the ones really locking this down, but it looks like X10F are going to play aggressive this round. Look at this mid control.
So actually holding down the angle this time. Alexi swinging and able to find the first one. It certainly inspires confidence, and the rest of the team are following in along with her. Towards the garage they go, and using the shock dart to block an area as well. They will be able to gain full control of this one spot, but do they know that Muffin has an operator on the other side? They have to think about it. The flashes go through. It is good. It lands it square in the face, and they will be able to secure a flawless take off of the timeout. Bren comes back into the game.
They've lost 4 rounds in a row, not won a single one, and then suddenly gets a flawless round. I think Alyssa, what is she doing there? She jumped a bit too wide there. The aftershock actually takes Polly down as well, and it was just so clean. The op shot misses, Mikasi takes her down, and immediately it was just a clean round from Bren Victress. They're able to build up a little bit of an economy as well, a little bit of a cushion, but X10F, they still have a full buy right now.
That might be their last full buy, but you're absolutely right. This cushion, it's a little bit good, but it has to be a lot better because the score is 6-11 right now. Bren needs so much more. Looking up towards the top, you've got Muffin with an operator as well. Holding on to the fault line is Ginny, though. They're trying to prevent a possible B push because that is where Bren swung upon the previous round. They hear the drone as well now.
The drone not so effective anymore after nerfs. Muffin misses the first shot. There's gonna be the aftershock to stop the push. Paranoia being committed as well. There's the Rolling Thunder coming in from Bren Victress. Does not really stun Muffin out though. Shirazi teleports up onto the top, is able to find one. Tries to spray through A-Link, but Alyssa is gonna find Mikasi. It's gonna be a 3v4 right now, but Alexi is gonna take Alyssa down, and Muffin, last one remaining, 1v3 right now for her. Will she be able to clutch this? Difficult with an operator, but it's definitely doable. We've seen crazier things before, but she's slowly inching up. There's a fault line coming out. She has to use the smoke. She gets sprayed down, and she just falls.
In the face of a fault line, anytime you have an operator, especially in such a position where you cannot walk back into cover, it's almost a death sentence, basically. So a little bit unfortunate, but what an execute from Bren. Like, we were looking for this for so long, and they finally found that secret sauce, spending the Rolling Thunder. Alexi bringing back 3 points to it as well. On the flip side, however, you got to consider the fact X10F are also building up their ultimates. Muffin just got her Blade Storm in that previous death. So now 7-11, they're looking to take the fight back into them, catching them by surprise. It has to take a lot of effort to swat that Muffin down, and they will. But do they realize that Paulie's on the other side as well? It's gotta be a double headshot from the Sheriff. Oh no, backing off now off the big lead. It's gonna be up to Shirazi and Ali to find the rest of them.
And Ali was also tagged down pretty low as well. One Sheriff shot is enough to take her down too. And X10F, of all rounds they could convert to go to match point, it looks like it's gonna be this thrifty one.
It's always down to these rounds because you just least expect it. And that is exactly when these teams, they know the advantages, the feelings, whatever you're trying to read, we're going to do the opposite. We know when and when not to push. And now, making use of utility. This is the Bren way. They snuff out the first. It's looking for the remaining one. A little bit of lights out because of the From the Shadows, causing a little bit of disruption, but unfortunately, it's only good for info because it was shot out so quickly.
30 seconds
Thought about
left.
deploying the lockdown now, but unfortunately, it's a little bit too costly, and they're not entirely sure about the remaining position. So rotating over, though, this could be
Where
big
would they
for
go?
Alyssa. Thinking about B maybe, but oh no, oh no. Alyssa still 13 seconds.
One enemy
Now
remaining.
Ali's trying to spray it down. She's
Spike
only able to
down
get
mid.
one. Shirazi falls, and it's down to the 1v2. She's 14 HP. Marquis goes and walks in. She finds the headshot, but Alyssa from the back. Lone survivor clutches it for the team.
Match point.
The contact play yet again, and now they're on match point off of that thrifty, off of that hot start. Paulie with a double headshot on the Sheriff. The Blade Storm as well from Muffin getting one kill, and it was close, but X10F were able to steal that round away, and now they're on match point.
Yikes. I think it's a little bit of pressure, a little bit of nerves. They're starting to possibly overthink some of their decisions, which is why they tried to rotate over. I mean, they really weren't entirely confident about pushing into that C site. And that might have just put them into a slightly worse position. Now, going back into the next round, quickly moving forward in towards B. The Hunter's Fury getting deployed, both of them. Unfortunately, X10F are the one that finds the frags. They got two. Makasi trades, but Victress comes back right in. And it's 2v4 now. They do not have the spike planted. And they're going to have to back off.
That was just overwhelming. The Hunter's Fury able to pick one out. Suddenly, bullets fly in. They get kills left and right, and they just find themselves on the back end of a 4v2.
Dire straits because it's match point. And in this
It's not-
4v2...
It's not impossible, I'd say.
It certainly
They-
isn't.
Here.
It's difficult, very difficult. They still have Killjoy utilities, full Killjoy utilities.
Wow.
In fact, they take down the camera
Wave.
You
first.
should run.
They're using the Killjoy
30 seconds
lockdown,
left.
but they don't have the counter utility for this for X10F. They're gonna have to back away first. Let them get the spike plant.
Here.
So the spike is gonna
Spike
go down.
planted.
Baby TZ is gonna be able to crawl up, creep
wire.
up.
They need to find her. If Baby TZ turns this into a 1vx scenario, that could be game over. Bren needs to stay alive, and they need to work together as a duo. And in this spot, I don't think they are safe enough to deploy utility anymore. So it comes down to the shooting. Baby TZ drops down from heaven, and she finds and isolates the first duel. The rest of them collapse on top, and X10F, just like that, the teamwork comes forward. And 13-7, they close this out in the
Defenders
upper
win.
bracket finals.
Massive game from X10F, and they slay the demons. They slay their
movement.
demons. Yeah, it's the movement, 100%. But Bren, they were the ones who took X10F down last open. X10F, they're looking very strong right now. Took down Altair Guslas in a 2-0. Took down Bren as well. They look like they're the best team in the tournament, at least for Open 3. And they secure the grand final spot. Meanwhile, Bren is going to be waiting for the winner of Team SMG versus Altair Guslas, which is the next series, by the way. But talking about this series again, this is a really exciting series because X10F, they've shown resilience. They've shown that they are one of the best. They've shown that they are clearly number 2 because I was starting to think Bren was number 2. Because of
certainly
last
was as
open.
well. I mean, Bren, every single one of them have stepped up so much, especially Alexi. and the entire team working in tandem with her. But you have to give credit this time around. I mean, baby TZ, you talked about the Cypher, and she shows you how it's played, the rest of the team along with her as well. X10F, the teamwork really starts to awaken inside of them on this map for some reason.
Yeah, it's definitely the teamwork, and really being able to find the executes, hold down the site. It's really just amazing to see for them. It was a 7-5 start for them, and
Wow.
on the attacking side, it was even much faster. But I don't like reading these stats typically, but every single stat is in their favor. That's how dominant it was. Like, it looked pretty close to previous maps, but this one was pretty one-sided.
It's a little bit unfortunate to say the least, but we did see signs of life in Bren towards the end. They were starting to find ways to take active map control and being a little bit more proactive in pushing out on defense. Again, it's only the upper bracket finals. You might have X10F, really cementing that top 2 spot, which is perfect, but I can't wait to see more from Bren because they're not done with this tournament, not yet. There will be sent down to the lower bracket finals, and then that's the next game that we've got coming up pretty soon, lower bracket round 3.
Yeah, lower bracket round 3. We're down to the top 4 teams. X10 sitting pretty on top, Bren, Victress waiting at the lower bracket finals, and a fight for 3rd place right now between Team SMG and Alter Ego Celeste. So that's going to be really exciting, but I think we're going to have the highlights first because Haven was pretty spicy. I think we had a lot of highlights as well from Alexi, of course, 100%. She's been the star player for Bren. Great start from her, really securing that pistol round from her. But what happened after that? X10F, Muffin getting the kills left and right, really clutching even these rounds where it seemed like there was almost no hope. We saw some signs of life from Mikasi getting those kills as well, but the rest of X10F, everyone showed up here on the team. You mentioned team play, it was really definitely a team play for them. And everyone, this clutch from Alyssa as well, absolutely nasty. And there were some heroic moments as well, Mikasi with the kills here as well. This was the thrifty round that Bren won on the defensive side, but quickly things just turned south for them. X10F just finally found their footing, was able to hold especially on defense here. Getting these kills, getting these thrifty wins from Polly as well. It's just absolutely amazing. In this last round, getting the Hunter's Fury, getting those kills, really securing that win, really securing their grand final spot. X10F are amazing.
Yeah, it's a lot of these rounds, right, Marquis? Like, thrifty wins, and then they get pushed into match point. You really don't expect them to happen that way because you're on an eco, but it's precisely because of that. And then all of a sudden you've got the Blade Storm, Muffin's up in the air, and Polly's right beneath her, and you're overwhelmed. You didn't expect them to push out, but they did, and because they're that sharp and they've got teammates with them, you're just kind of stunned, and you lose players in that process. It's kind of unfortunate, but I think that's something that they can learn from. So again, it's not the end for Bren Victress, but moving on from this, we will have SMG versus Alter Ego Celeste.
Yeah, this is going to be an absolutely amazing series. We're going to go for a quick break first between this and the next series. Don't touch Bowser, we'll be right back.
Get it crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here, everybody round, everybody round here, know we getting hype. Everybody round, everybody round. We wanna get it crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Everybody round, everybody